the hero. Next on TBS.
The Braves entered this season among the league's favorite to win their 4th straight divisional title. So far, they haven't disappointed their fans, using a 13-1 start to vault to the league's best record. The Expos have looked up in the standings all year to the Braves. This young team has remained in the hunt, and tonight they send Ken Hill to the mound to try to move a step closer. The Braves counter with their ace, Greg Maddux, next.
TBS Sports presents Atlanta Braves Baseball.
Hello again, everybody. Along with Joe Simpson, Skip Carey, welcoming you to another night of Atlanta Braves baseball. This time from the Olympic Stadium in Montreal, where I don't think it's a crucial series, but certainly an important series gets underway tonight as the Braves and the Montreal Expos get together. Two fine pitchers, Ken Hill and Greg Maddux, and two fine ball clubs, Joe.
I think it's going to be an entertaining series is what I think, Skip, because based on the last series these two teams had in Atlanta, not too many runs were scored. Greg Maddux, Tom Glavine, John Smoltz, same three that are going to work for the Braves in this series, pitched against Montreal in Atlanta. And they gave the Expos only 2 runs and 14 hits over those 3 games. The Expos won their only game 1-0 behind Ken Hill, who's pitching tonight. But of the 7 Braves runs that were scored in that series, 5 came from home runs. So I think runs are going to come at a premium again in this series.
I agree with you. We had 3 great games there, and this should be the first of 3 good ones here. Back with the starting lineups, the play-by-play story, right after this.
'94 Atlanta Braves Baseball on TBS is brought to you by the Michelob family of beers, because some days are better than others. By Delta Airlines, you'll love the way we fly. And by Aflac, insuring over 38 million people worldwide.
Some days should last all week. You got yourself a winning streak. Some days are like nothing else. You just gotta pinch yourself. It's not your average day, you must admit. Here's the beer that makes the perfect fit. Michelob. Some days. Michelob. Some days. Michelob. 'Cause some days are better than others.
It's a major breakthrough in auto protectant technology. Formula 2001 Super Protectant. It provides a more brilliant, longer-lasting shine than Armor All on vinyl and leather. And look, in the Arizona desert, Formula 2001 brought back the shine to UV-faded vinyl, rubber, even leather. Get the new standard in automotive protectant technology. Formula 2001, with 50% more active shining ingredients than Armor All. Get Formula 2001 products today.
It still bugs me that I waited to try Old Spice High Endurance just because I thought all deodorants worked the same. Dumb. This proves it's the best. Better than the leading stick. It evaporates less quickly. It also lasts longer. Protects better. You can't ignore that. Or this guarantee. Try it. If you don't think it's the best, call 1-800-PROVE-IT, and they'll buy you a stick of yours. You gotta figure anyone that serious about deodorant deserves a serious shot. Come on, take the High Endurance Challenge from Old Spice. I did.
As big as this series is for these two ball clubs, Expos management is saying this may be a good barometer to find out if baseball is going to in fact succeed here in Montreal. They're averaging about 20,000 folks per date, and they're expecting a pretty good crowd on hand tonight, and so far looks pretty good as they begin to file in, especially in the upper deck where you rarely see folks at this ballpark. The Formula 2001 starting lineup for Bobby Cox tonight in game 1 of this series. We'll have Roberto Kelly in center field. His thumb a little sore, but he's going to try it again tonight. Then Blauser, Klusko, and McGriff. David Justice back in there with that tender right knee. Then Lopez, Lemke, Bill Pacoda still in the lineup at third base. Terry Pendleton told me before the ball game his back's feeling better, and Greg Maddux will be the pitcher. The defense for the Montreal Expos tonight: Lou Frazier in left field, Marquise Grissom in center and Moise Alou in right. Larry Walker still serving his suspension for charging the mound in a recent incident where he was hit by a pitch. Sean Berry at third, Will Cordero at short, Mike Lansing at second base. Cliff Floyd is at first, Darren Fletcher behind the plate, and on the mound, 28-year-old Ken Hill, 6'2", 200-pounder out of Lynn, Massachusetts. Fastball, forkball, changeup. He is tied with Doug Drabeck and Greg Maddux for the top number of wins in the National League. You can see not too many walks in 98 and 2/3 innings, and he beat the Braves in his most recent start against them back on May 8th. He pitched brilliantly. 7 innings, 3 hits, no runs, 2 walks, 5 strikeouts, and did not allow a hit until the 4th inning of play. The only extra base hit he allowed among those 3 was a double to Ryan Klesko.
And Roberto Kelly will lead it off. Ed Rapuano calls the balls and strikes. And we're underway, and the first pitch is a strike. Frank Pulley at first, Wally Bell at second, Joe West umpiring at third. They play Kelly just about straight away. Hit hard to third, but a good play by Sean Berry. Throws him out, 1 away. Some interesting differences between these two teams and some interesting similarities. The differences: Montreal has stolen 88 bases. Atlanta has stolen just 22, or 1/4 that many. Atlanta has 88 home runs, 22 more than Montreal. The Expos have 66, but 33 of those have been this month. 0-1 to Blauser. Braves earned run average 3.58. Montreal's 3.66. Expos have scored 363 runs. Atlanta 345. 0-2 to Blauser. Jeff, 10 of his last 22. He's 4 out of 16 in his career against Ken Hill. He started in the Detroit organization. That hit him. Blauser is hit with an 0-2 pitch.
Some things to back up what you just said, Skip, about how these two ball clubs compare and how they both score the runs maybe in a little bit of a different fashion. Home runs, Braves first, the Expos 9th in the National League rankings, and you can see what you're talking about with the stolen bases. They're first, and the Braves 11th. The Expos, though, offensively have been, as you said, on a tear in June. They're averaging 6.5 runs a game in June.
That's a little scary, and so has been this guy, Ryan Klesko, hitting .417 since June 3rd. But he looked bad on that split finger. 0-1. He's now at .320 with 13 homers, 31 RBI. $13 runs driven in this month in 48 at bats. That is a pretty good ratio. Blauser edges away, unlikely to be running here. Back to the mound, should be a double play. Perfect throw there, perfect throw there. 1-6-3 and out. Nothing doing for Atlanta in the first. We go to the bottom half of the first inning. No score.
We met at the policeman's house in my hometown. We found out that we were expecting, and we kind of had an idea that there might be more than one. I was in the hospital for 3 weeks before the kids were born. And then Taylor and Tyler came along 8.5 weeks early. My Aflac representative was very, very friendly.
Aflac covers the unexpected costs of getting better, so you can get on with life.
Oh, you can't have it. Look at the monkey.
Chris Berman for Kills Primetime Primers. Mike's going to try to cover these tough stains with ordinary paint as time is running out on his weekend. The clock is ticking. 48 hours of the weekend is over. Face it, it's prime time. So he reaches for the original Primetime Primer. Kills, America's leading stain-blocking primer that blocks out smoke and water damage, tackles grease, crayon, and ink. Mike's done in time for Sunday sports highlights. When it's time to prime, reach for Kills Primetime Primers.
What do you think? All this? For me? You shouldn't have.
Oh, but I did.
Fireworks already.
They started the minute you walked through the door.
There's magic in the air. I can feel it.
Joanna.
Yes, Alex?
Say it.
Wanna bond?
Oh, yes.
Oh, go get the remote control.
James Bond. 4 movies July 4th on TBS.
We go to the bottom half of the first inning in game 1 of the 3-game series with Montreal. Here's Felipe Alou's lineup tonight. Marquise Grissom, Lou Frazier, Moise Alou, the first 3. Then Darren Fletcher will be the cleanup hitter tonight, followed by Cordero, Floyd, Barry, Mike Lansing, and then Ken Hill. Braves defensively, as you would expect, with Lopez behind the plate. Greg Maddux on the mound, making his 17th start of the year, and he's been mighty tough on the Expos the last couple of times he has faced them.
Marquise Grissom out of Atlanta leads it off and takes it high. 1 ball, no strikes. Grissom has been doing it. He's been on base 38 times in his last 16 games. But he's had no luck at all against Maddux. Just 8 out of 40 against him in his career.
It's going to be imperative that the Braves keep him off the bases. Expos only stole 2 bases in that 3-game series in Atlanta, but it's primarily because they didn't get anybody on base.
Yeah, they scored just 2 runs, but won 1 of the 3 games.
Yeah.
Gregg out in front.
And thanks to a 2-run homer by Mark Lemke, they didn't win 2 games by a score of 1-0.
Line drive, that's treble. Justice over fast to cut it off. Grissom is at second with a double. So Montreal off to a good start.
Braves pitchers of late have really been hurt when they've been ahead in the count. Grissom looking for the ball away, and the ball tailed back a little more than Gregg would like. Grissom hit it right on the nose to the opposite field.
Lou Frazier is the batter. This guy's an amazing story. In '87, he hit .258 in A ball. In '88, he hit .235 in A ball. In '89, he hit .231 in Double A. And now the runner is at third.
Second error by Greg Maddux in his last 2 starts. Remember, the throwing error he committed against the Mets virtually cost him the ball game in his last start. They thought they might have a good opportunity to pick Grissom off there, but he threw it away.
Runner at third, nobody out. This fascinates me about Frazier. Hit .219 in Double A in '90, .239 in Double A in '91, .252 in Double A in 1992. That's almost to the backstop. Last year in Montreal, he hit .286. And this year he's hitting .342. Either the bad lights bothered him or he has really learned how to hit.
Big leaguers are throwing it over the plate more often for him.
Hot shot. 1-0. Frazier drives in his 8th run with a solid single. And this big crowd is really into it here. It's good to see.
Skip, I tell you that it's almost like a playoff atmosphere. Will Cordero was quoted in the paper as saying he's going to play it as if he were in the playoffs. It's that important to him, and I think it's that important to these fans.
Frazier, another one of the guys, can really run on this team. He is 13 out of 16. And he gets a pretty good lead. He's got 1 foot off the AstroTurf. Or rather 1 foot out of the dirt and on the AstroTurf. Moise Alou has really been cooking. Base hit, center field. Still nobody out. And Darren Fletcher, the batter. Alou has driven in 29 runs since June 6th. Fletcher having a career year. 297, 7 homers, 40 RBI.
These guys are going after him. The last two guys have gone after him early in the count, too. They're not waiting around. They get a first pitch strike, they're attacking it.
Alou gets a tremendous lead at first as McGriff plays behind him. There's a strike. It's 0-1.
Greg had only allowed the Expos 1 run in his last 17 innings against them in his last 2 starts.
There are your runners. Frazier at second, Alou at first. The 0-1. There they go. Swung, fly ball, right center field. Justice calls for it. The runners return, and there's an out. That's what Montreal will do. They're like the good St. Louis teams of a decade or so ago when they had Pendleton and Coleman and Ozzie Smith at the top of his game. Just run with reckless abandon.
I think they're trying to do whatever they can to put some more pressure on Greg Maddux, knowing that runs are always hard to come by against him, and if they can take advantage of some aggressive play here with runners on, maybe they can get steal an extra run or two against him.
Felipe Alou is a pretty good manager.
Well, like everybody in Montreal, very underrated. They don't get the attention that they deserve from the media.
But he was underrated by his own organization. He languished in A-ball and for many years. Cordero hitting .299. Maddux pickoff throw. I think time had been called before the throw, but he was safe anyway. Cordero at .299 leads all National League shortstops in batting average. With 8 homers, he is tied for the lead in that department, and with 33 RBIs, he's second only to Barry Larkin. The runners edge away. Strike. 0-1. You can see the extra pressure those base runners put on. Lemke has to keep zipping in to and fro, and now Maddux taking an abnormally long time when he comes set, trying to make somebody break too soon, and it changes your rhythm of how you go about playing the game. It's just the way the Cardinals used to be.
And if Greg doesn't give Mark a chance to move around a little bit back there, all their work is for naught.
Pickoff play again. Close. He just did get back.
A lot of guys who throw one away would hesitate to try it again. Not Greg Maddux. That was a close play.
And that's the kind of play on which a runner can get hurt, jamming that leg into the bag, but Frazier's all right. The 0-1. 0-2.
Double plays have certainly been friendly to Greg Maddux. He's recorded a whole lot more of them than his fellow starters. That helps him avoid big innings. One thing about Will Cordero, you were talking about, Skip, with his numbers really going up this year and his average just under 300. He made an adjustment with his hands not too long ago. He actually dropped them a little bit. From where he starts, they're very low. He then pushes them up a little bit as he starts his swing.
That's outside, a ball and 2 strikes. I hate to see it, kid. I'm sure he meant well with that quote about, I'm going to play as if it's a playoff game. Well, what does that mean he does every other day? He doesn't try? I'm sure that's not what he meant, but that's the impression I get.
No, I just think that his intensity level is so high right now in anticipation for a young player of a series like that he's letting the fans know that he's putting every ounce of whatever he's got into it.
Little tap to third, Pacoda to second. Close. They got the out there. It's the only chance they have. Runners at first and third and 2 down as Cordero hits into a fielder's choice. And Cliff Floyd is the batter, and he's about the one guy in their lineup who has been struggling lately. He's 0 for his last 11, 1 for his last 16, but he is hitting .277. Surprisingly low home run total for this big guy.
Reports are that when Larry Walker comes back tomorrow night, he will play first base. He's got a slight tear in his rotator cuff. They don't know if he's going to be able to play the outfield with a sore shoulder. And so while he's giving his shoulder a rest, he's going to be the first baseman. And it looks like Lou Frazier's going to play a lot more in left field than what he's been playing.
And that'll mean that the youngster out of Gray, Georgia, Rondell White, will probably see more time. First and third, 2 out, a run in. There goes the runner. There's a strike, and he steals it unmolested. Cordero is 10 out of 10. Now a base hit means 2 more runs.
Great crossover step. Already had a foot way out on the turf. Javier hoping that Lou Frazier waltzed down the line a little bit with the pump fake.
Started to swing, tried to stop. They asked for help, and West says he did not swing. A ball and a strike to count.
We're talking about Cordero's youth. This is a very young ball club altogether. They only have 2 players that are over 30 years old.
That is scary. Into the dirt. A good play by Lopez. 2-1. Jerry Manuel coaches at third for Montreal, and Louis Pujols is over at first. Ed Rapuano checks over the baseball. Maddox and Lopez having trouble getting together again, and Floyd steps out. The outfield plays him to pull. A lot of room for him in left center. Sean Berry would be next. Again, Lopez and Maddox can't get together. This is a recurring theme here. It's really getting to be of some concern.
Javi's been encouraged in conversation that Ned Yost had yesterday on the radio with Pete Van Wieren. He's been encouraged to go out and talk to the pitchers to make sure they get what they want.
Just missed inside. It's 3-1.
Greg's not going to give in to him here. He's aware that Cliff Floyd's been struggling some, but he also has a right-handed hitter on deck. First base open. He's going to make him hit his pitch.
Right through there, full count. Three balls, 2 strikes. And the payoff pitch to Floyd. Just missed inside. I think Lopez and Maddox both thought they had a strike, but the call is not forthcoming.
That's a call that Greg gets a lot. That cut fastball coming back over the inside corner. That one didn't move as much. That seemed to hold its line a little bit, Skip, and didn't tail back over the inside corner like it usually does.
So Sean Berry is the batter. As you doubtless noticed, Leo Mazzoni didn't think much of that call. Berry 1 for 6 in his career against Maddox. He's up in a spot where he can break this thing wide open. With Ken Hill on the mound, you don't figure to get many. Then you don't figure to get many against Maddox. High chop to third. Pacoda will have to throw it just in time, and the inning is over. So the Braves get out of it without further damage. But a run scores on 3 hits. 1 error was charged and 3 runners are left. At the end of an inning, your score: Expos 1, Braves nothing.
1994 Atlanta Braves baseball on TBS is brought to you by Tylenol.
It looks like a new kind of Tylenol.
It seems to be pretty strong medicine.
It really makes you feel better.
Oh, good. Something easier to swallow.
It does look high-tech.
Introducing extra-strength Tylenol gel tabs. All the power of extra-strength Tylenol, made with an innovative patented gel coat technology. They work hard on your toughest pain.
It worked fast for me.
They did the trick. I went bowling last night.
Tylenol gel tabs, the newest form of powerful pain relief.
The gel tabs were strong enough to take my pain away.
Got rid of my aches and pains.
That's why we're standing here talking to you.
Racing legend Richard Petty gave us an incredible challenge to try and start his toys.
All my toys.
All at once with a single diehard. So we hooked up all 9 engines, and the diehard started every one.
All at the same time.
But would it still have the power to start this big toy? Sears diehard. More power when you need it most.
Are we there yet? I gotta go.
Kelly's touching me.
Are we there yet?
Spend your vacation close by in Atlanta, not in your car. Because the world of Hollywood has come to Six Flags over Georgia. For discounts, call 1-800-ATLANTA.
He's on my side. Are we there yet?
Are there any restaurants near the camp?
Nope.
TV?
Nope.
Bathtub?
Nope.
Unlike some vacation spots, Atlanta has comfortable places to stay, like Marriott Hotels. And bring your Visa card. For discounts, call 1-800-ATLANTA.
Was that a...
Yep.
Well, the Braves don't have many guys in their lineup who have had much luck against this outstanding Montreal pitcher, Ken Hill, but Fred McGriff is one guy who has. He's 7 out of 23 against him, and 3 of those hits have been home runs. He leads off the second with the Braves down by 1. And he hits that ball into left field. On comes Frazier, an easy play for him, 1 down. 1 pitch, 1 out in the second. And a red-hot hitter comes to the plate, David Justice. Since May 21st, he's hacking away at a .398 batting average, which has gotten him to .332 overall. And the RBI is starting to come, too. He's up to 34 with 12 homers. By the way, when we come home a week from tonight, that 4th of July game against the Pirates is now a sellout. All tickets have been sold. Sometimes some are turned back in, so you can check on that. But as of now, no tickets remain for that game. A few remain for Tuesday, a few for Wednesday, a few for Friday, and a few for Sunday. Saturday is also sold out. The weekend games against the Cardinals. Little chop, that should be easy. Floyd waits, fields, wins the race to the bag, 2 out.
One of the tough things about Ken Hill is the fact that there's no long arm arc for a hitter to pick up. They can't really see the arm come behind the body because it really never drops below his waist. When it comes out of his glove, he throws it like a catcher throwing to second base. Real quick wrist snap on it.
RBIs few and far between for Javi Lopez, huh?
Only 1 this month.
And none since June 5th, and that one came on an infield grounder. So he's got to turn it up a notch. He's aware of that. 2 balls, no strikes. Three and 0. Javi just 4 for his last 23. He's been hitting the ball a little bit better. See if they turn him loose here.
There's that delivery of Ken Hill. Watch the arm stay up above the waist.
Back live, a ground ball to deep short. Cordero off his knees. Got him, and the inning is over. They turned him loose, 3-0, and Cordero robbed him with an outstanding play. 1-2-3, nothing doing. Bottom of the second rolls round. 1-0 Montreal.
They speak it in England, France, and Germany. It sounds the same in the U.S. and Mexico as it does in Hong Kong and Tokyo. It's the international language of business. And wherever it's spoken, Delta Airlines can put you right in the middle of the conversation. And then we'll bring you back to that place where you don't have to say a word to be understood. Delta Airlines.
Can't reach the beach, but Long John Silver's isn't far. Grab a beach, go mug and chill out where you are. Just $1.19, you can check out the sea. At Long John Silver's, you can refill it free. Grab an insulated beach go mug in 4 designs of the sea. $1.19 with any purchase. All summer long, you'll drink free. With beach go mugs, you can drink all you wish. At Long John Silver's, when you go fish. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
You just spray it on?
You just spray it on.
New Quicksilver Wheel Cleaner from Armor All. Just spray it on, and then just spray it off.
That's it? That's it.
Quicksilver Wheel Cleaner.
If you're looking for a reliable place to service your car or truck, I've got great news for you.
Now at Pep Boys, get up to a $20 rebate on our premium brake service, up to $40 on our super brake service.
Come to Pep Boys and drive away happy.
Just a reminder that this telecast is authorized under broadcasting rights granted by the Atlanta National League Baseball Club and is intended solely for the entertainment of our audience. Any publication, rebroadcast, retransmission, or the use of the pictures, descriptions, or accounts of this game without the express written consent of the Atlanta National League Baseball Club is prohibited.
And Mike Lansing, who was at the top of the Expos order when we played them first this year, now is at the bottom in the 8th spot and hits the first pitch to Blauser. 1 away in the second. Well, they are jumping on the first pitch a lot. Here's Ken Hill. He's hitting 129, but he swings the bat pretty well. By the way, we've been asked to tell you that Volume 2 of the Braves Wives Cookbook, From Home Plate to Home Cooking, is about to be available. After the 4th of July, you can purchase it. A portion of the proceeds to benefit the Georgia Center for Children, which is committed to providing quality services which enable child victims to break out of the cycle of sexual abuse and lead happy, normal lives. The book is filled with new recipes from the players, front office executives, and broadcasters. 0-2. The book will be available by phone or mail order for $14.99 per book. A $4.50 shipping and handling fee per book should be added to each order. The 0-2 pitch downstairs. To order by phone, please call the Braves merchandising department at area 404-614-1913 or outside the Atlanta area 1-800-433-2728. Hill is out of there, 2 quickly down in the second inning. Maddox records his first strikeout. To order the cookbook by mail, send checks or money orders written to the Atlanta Braves merchandise department. Post Office Box 4006, Atlanta 30302. Be sure to include a return address to receive your cookbook. That's an awful lot of information I just threw at you.
Yes, so.
Meanwhile, the game is over, and
who won?
The bench. High pop right side by Grissom. McGriff coming over, cannot get there. So the cookbook is coming out, and Joe has changed his recipe, and we're all thankful for that. Call 614-1913 in Atlanta for information. Outside the metro area, 1-800-433-2728.
And I'll bet you didn't even try Joe's backdoor chili.
You're right.
Talked about the importance of keeping Grissom off the bases, and it came to pass in the first inning.
Into right field again. Justice coming over. Can't get there. Knocks it down. The throw to second will be late.
Boy, can he run. He knew there might be a chance Justice would catch this ball, but in the event he didn't, he wanted to be on second base and was flying down the first base line. David had to smother the hop, and that's what cost him. And he had even come in a little bit in the event that Grissom tried to go to right field again.
It is scored a double all the way, and Frazier, who singled home a run his first time, is up there now, and you got to keep an eye on Grissom even in this spot, because he's so fast. If he has a chance, he can cruise into third standing up, and Pacoda plays wide of the bag too. Frazier came up empty that time, 0-1.
To be honest with you, I wouldn't be concerned with it.
Let him steal it.
Let him steal it, because he's going to score from second on a base hit by Frazier anyway. The only thing you would hope that wouldn't happen would be a wild pitch or a pass ball.
Or an infield hit or an error on the infield, something like that. Ground ball toward Lemke, should be out of the inning. And the Braves are. You can see even on that play, Lemke rushing it a little bit, because you're so aware of the speed of this Montreal team. 1 hit, no runs. No errors, 1 left. We have played 2 with the score. Montreal 1, Atlanta nothing.
Guys, did I ever tell you about the one I chipped in at Pebble Beach?
Every Thursday.
You know, I actually made a shot like this once.
Oh, sure.
Alert the media. Guys, if I make this, I'm buying the Michelob. Yeah, sure.
Yes! What a shot!
Unbelievable! Gee, I forgot my wallet.
What?
Kidding.
Everybody hates to eat and run. We'd rather take it slow. But the way this life is going, gotta grab your food and go. And when all that running round catches up with you at last, get yourself some Alka-Seltzer and you'll feel better fast.
For acid indigestion or heartburn with headache, nothing makes you feel better faster than Alka-Seltzer.
Get yourself some Alka-Seltzer and you'll feel better fast.
I was running late the other day when the car started acting up. You know, a little light came on, it says check engine. You know, the one that always means a trip to the dealer, right? Well, I go to AutoZone. I tell the guy about it. He says, let's take a look. So we go outside, pop the hood, and he starts running some tests right there. Turns out it was just something little, but he saved me a lot. You know, if they can test this stuff for free at AutoZone, why would you go anyplace else?
Marquise Grissom went 1 for 11 against the Braves in Atlanta back in May. He's already 2 for 2 tonight with a couple of doubles. And at the conclusion of our game, don't forget, the Armor All Protectant Player of the Game will be selected. I'd say he's got a leg up on it already.
That's right, Joe. And Mark Lemke will lead off the 3rd inning. A rainy day here today in Montreal. The same is expected tomorrow, maybe even heavier. So we're fortunate they have the roof here, or we'd probably be rained out of the first 2 games of this series. And speaking of the roof, which is now permanent, the story continues. The saga goes on and on. Once the season comes to a close, they are going to take off this permanent roof and put on another permanent roof, which will cost another $27 million.
So the permanent roof that's up there now is semi-permanent.
Is impermanent, right. Ground ball headed for right field. There's the first Atlanta hit of the night. Alou up with it. Lemke extends a modest hitting streak to 5 and continues his good work with the bat. That's just his 5th hit in 25 tries against Hill. And Bill Pacoda is the batter. 1-4-0 for Montreal, 0-1-1 for Atlanta.
One thing about this Montreal ball club, Skip, we've talked about how well they've been doing offensively. Their pitching is 2nd in the league to the Braves, but their defense has not been so stellar. They're 12th in the league with 65 errors. You can put a little pressure on them and create some mistakes.
Up the middle, that's going to get through for a hit. Lemke will have to stop at second. Grissom plays like a short fielder in softball would play. Runners at first and second. Nobody out.
This one looked like it was hit right off his fists. Nope. More off toward the end of the bat. Ken Hill was able to help himself on a hot grounder hit by Klesko, turned it into a 1-6-3 double play, but couldn't grab that soft liner by Pacoda.
Well, Maddox, the kind of guy that normally helps himself in situations like this, will almost certainly be trying to move the runners over. But remember, Braves pitchers have the option if the wheel play is on. In other words, if the shortstop breaks toward third and the third baseman charges hard and the infield's totally broken up, they have the option to swing away. So let's see what's what. He's not swinging it yet. Now he is, and he chops it foul, and that's exactly what happened. As Cordero broke toward third, Maddox changed his plan. 0-1.
Good call, Skip. Both these guys very good at handling the bat, Maddox and Hill. Greg has 7 sacrifice bunts this year. Hill leads the league with 10. That may change Felipe Alou's defensive alignment.
He bunts it foul. It comes up and hits him, and he's in the hole 0-2. That time Cordero bluffed toward third, but then slammed on the brakes. So
Jimmy Williams was Skip pointing at Cordero too, like, did you watch him? Because I think that was what may have distracted Greg a little bit.
See how he plays it now. He shows bunt. Low and inside. He pulled the bat back. It's a ball and 2 strikes. This may be the biggest crowd I've ever seen in Montreal. 40.
Capacity's 46.5.
35 maybe, somewhere in there. It bounces up and hits him again, and Maddox fails. That has scored a strikeout. And you're wondering perhaps why did he bunt with 2 strikes? Well, to stay out of the double play.
You'd much rather, even with 2 strikes, like we said, he's generally a guy who gets the bunt down. Didn't quite get the bat out in front of him far enough for that one. And with that good running fastball and the forkball of Hill, you got to do that.
Another conference on the mound for Montreal. And Roberto Kelly will be the batter. He hit it hard his first time, but was thrown out by third baseman Sean Berry.
Comment I made earlier about the interest in this series from the owner of the ball club, Claude Brochu, about how if fans aren't going to be turned on for this 3-game series, they may never get ready to come to see Expos baseball.
Good breaking ball, 0-1. Well, this is one of the teams that people keep saying is in serious trouble. This one and the Pirates, and San Diego, of course. Cincinnati, perhaps, though they have such a great fan base, I think they're all right. Milwaukee in the other league. 0-2. Hill has made 2 quality pitches to him. Kelly's in the hole. Kelly with 51 strikeouts and 285 at bats. Right back to the mound. Might be another double play out there. Out there. 1-6-3 again. So an early threat comes to nothing. 2 hits. No run. No errors, 1 left. We go to the bottom half of the 3rd inning. Montreal leads it 1-0.
January, February, March, April, May, June, July, August, September, October, November, December. January, February, March, April, May, June, July, August, September, October, November, December. January, February, March, April, May, June, July.
Introducing the new Diet Coke can. It just might change your life forever.
January, February, March, April, May, June, July, August, September, October, November, December.
All this? For me? You shouldn't have.
But I did.
Want a bond?
Yes.
Well, go get the remote control.
James Bond.
4 movies July 4th on TBS.
When sports cream? When arms are sore. When legs ache. When muscles hurt. Why sports cream? Massaging sports cream in brings fast pain relief. No medicine-y smell. No odor. Why sports cream? Because it works.
NASA had 2 rules. Make it happen, make it look like a piece of cake. Let's take that flawless mission, Apollo 11. The Eagle has landed. The Eagle had 16 seconds of fuel left when Armstrong and Aldrin touched down. 16 seconds. That never made the history books. Moonshot, the real stuff.
A TBS original world premiere event begins July 11th.
The hot-hitting Moisés Alou stands in. He came into the game hitting at .349. He singled his first time. Check swing, low and away. 1 ball, no strikes. 1-4-0 for the Expos. 0-2-1 for the Braves.
This guy's getting the job done. His last 19 games, he's driven in 29 and he's scored 21.
He chops one foul. Bounces up into the seats. Jose Offerman has been optioned by the Dodgers to Albuquerque. And the kid Bornegal has been recalled. That's sort of a wake-up call, huh?
That might stir him up a little bit. Bornegal may come up going, play lights out.
Upstairs.
You saw those rankings in the National League for Alou, and there were a lot of people that didn't think he would even be playing at this time of '94 after that terrible injury last year in St. Louis.
Line drive, base hit. Quesco tries to run it down, cannot. And Alou is standing at second base. 5 hits already for Montreal. And that's 3 doubles already.
And they lead the league in that category. That's in keeping with their team speed. We showed you that they're 11th in the league in homers, but when they hit the gaps, or even when they hit a few flares like Grissom did his second time up, they take the extra base.
I tell you what, everybody talks about the Braves having the best team in the league, and they may in fact have. But you look at Cincinnati and you look at this group, and this is a good ball club. It's not a foregone conclusion.
No.
By any stretch of the imagination. 0-1 the count.
I really liked what Felipe Alou said in the paper today about how the last 3 years the Expos have had to chase very good teams. The Pirates, the Phillies, and now the Braves. And he said the only team that's been there to chase those teams has been us, the Expos.
Well, he works on those sunflower seeds, doesn't he? Oh, and 1 the count. There's a look at that wild card thing. Montreal, they don't want to think about that yet.
No, they don't. They don't even like the thought of it. They think they can win it.
Down and in. A ball and a strike. Now the rumor sweeping through baseball. We mentioned it yesterday, but everybody you talked to up here thinks that August 16th is the date of the strike, but they haven't even voted yet. They don't do that till the day before the All-Star game. We shall see. He did his job. He got the runner to third with 1 out. Fletcher is retired. That is doubly important in this kind of game with these kind of pitchers, because every run is so important.
Well, look what happened in the top half of the inning when Maddox couldn't get the bunt down. Double play got Ken Hill out of the inning. You got to be able to execute in these tight scoring contests.
The Braves tip their hat to Mr. Hill by bringing the infield in already. off the plate. 1 ball, no strikes.
Cordero was the only Expo that you would consider to have a good series in Atlanta. He was 3 for 11, had a triple. Had one of the 4 hits against Maddox when he fired the 4-hit shutout at them.
It's 2 out of 11 against Greg in his career. Line foul. Boy, that ball was sucked. Alou. Heart jumped into his throat there. That baby was ticketed at him.
Grissom was fooled a couple of times, but was able to reach pitches away from him. Cordero, the same thing here. He was fooled, but lunged out there and still got good wood on one.
A ball and a strike. Cliff Floyd waits to hit next. Foul tipped at the plate. 1-2 is the count.
Cordero's hitting .500 over his last 46 at bats.
They're a red hot team. A ball and 2 strikes. That takes care of Cordero. A big strikeout for Maddox. His second of the night. Floyd walked his first time.
Not sure what that conversation was about. Good sinking off-speed pitch that got Cordero, had him way out in front, but Lopez and Maddox having a little talk after that, almost like Javi wanted the ball away and Greg said no, I wanted the ball down and in.
We mentioned before Floyd 1 out of 16, 0 for 11. And he bloops this one into short left. Blauser gets there and Maddox got out of it okay. A leadoff double comes to nothing. 1 hit, no runs, no errors, 1 left, but at the end of 3. Your score, Montreal 1, Atlanta nothing.
What makes the Sharp View Cam so unique? It's the camcorder that's always moving. It's being part of the action. It's the view screen that lets you enjoy it all. It's a shot you can't get with just any camcorder. It's the way to play the moment back instantly with all the color and sound. The Sharp View Cam is the new movement in camcorders.
Meet the Parker twins, Bob and Fred.
Hi.
Identical in every way, except when it comes to taking care of their cars. Bob likes the shine of original Armor All protectant, but not Fred.
I gotta be me.
Fred's discovered the rich, deep finish of new low-gloss Armor All. It protects like original Armor All.
But without the glossy shine.
Original or new low gloss.
Now it's your choice.
Only from Armor All.
Hey, can I try that?
Two, 3, and 4 hitters come to the plate here in the 4th inning for Atlanta. Blauser, Klesko, McGriff up there against Ken Hill. 1-0 the score, and Braves frankly are fortunate that that's all it is.
Sure, the Expos are wondering if they're going to look back and wish they'd gotten a couple more across.
Blauser fouls one to the screen. It's 0-1. Boy, this guy's nasty. He's got good stuff.
Expos have already stranded 5-0 for their last 7 with men in scoring position.
The Cardinals got this guy from the Detroit organization in what was a great trade. Then they traded him up here for Andres Galarraga, which would have been an okay trade, except they let Galarraga go. So they lost Hill and Galarraga. And they'll both probably be pitching on the or playing on the All-Star team this year. Low and away. 2 balls, 1 strike. Joe Simpson, Skip Carey with you from the Olympic Stadium in Montreal.
Blauser's numbers, as we've been talking about, have gone up recently. He's been doing a great job of just getting on base. The guys behind him.
High fly ball, right center, no problem there. Moise Alou drifts back and has it. 1 down. Blauser is retired, and Klesko the batter.
You're talking about Hill, and the June free agent draft just took place. I guess it gives cause for hope for a lot of guys that didn't get drafted. Here's the one that was not drafted. He signed as a free agent with the Detroit Tigers out of Lynn, Mass.
And is now one of the best pitchers in baseball. One ball, no strikes. Yeah, Hal brings up a good point. Detroit could have John Smoltz in their rotation. They could have Ken Hill, John Hudek, a reliever now with Houston. But I guess all teams can look back and say, I wish I hadn't done that. The 1-1 pitch. Downstairs, 2-1. Klesko with 31 RBI. Check swing got jammed, and Hill guns him down. He's hit the ball back to the mound twice. And he didn't have much of a swing at all. 2 out.
No, he didn't. Show you why. The ball's on him before he can react, and part of it has to do with that motion we showed you earlier. He starts his swing and kind of stops, and look how he had to break down his front arm. No extension whatsoever.
So 2 are out for McGriff. Outside, 1 ball, no strikes.
Fred is due to go deep.
He is due to go deep. It's been a while. One in the last 58 at bats. Two balls, no strikes. He tried to go deep, but he missed, and it's 2-1.
He does a good job, though, of taking whatever the opposition's giving him, like in Philadelphia in the recent series where he was really wearing out the left field line. Everything was away from him. They did a good job of making him keep it in the ballpark, but he was getting his share of hits the last couple of days.
Two balls and a strike. Knocked him off the plate. 3-1. Houston has scored 3 in the first against the Reds, and they're still batting in the Astrodome. San Diego got 2 in the first. Playing Colorado. McGriff is aboard with 2 down. Hill issues the walk. Just his 27th of the year. Here's David Justice. David pinch hit a homer yesterday. That right ankle is really taped up tonight. The ball pops away, and the Braves get a runner into scoring position. That's a wild pitch.
That's a big play with 2 outs. A walk, a wild pitch, and a single. Suddenly you got a tie ball game. That's the fork ball, and not a very good job by Fletcher, in all honesty, trying to block that pitch.
Well, now a little bloop somewhere, and you're back even. don't envy him trying to catch this guy. He's got wicked stuff.
You can see this month alone, David has duplicated the combination of RBIs in April and May.
Outside.
Part of that due to, we were talking about Blauser, and also, of course, Roberto Kelly, as much as he's been on base. Fred hasn't hit as many home runs in his last 50 at-bats as you would expect, although he's hitting over 350 in that period, so David's been able to pick up the slack RBI-wise.
They're going to pitch to him here, and you know he's got the green light. Or I guess he does. He does. But he could do nothing with it. That's 3-1.
From the stretch, Hill really comes right from his right ear with that delivery.
Darren Fletcher goes to the mound to talk to Hill and probably is out there to ask him, I wonder what Javi Lopez and Maddox have been talking about all night out here. Now we're ready to go, and a 3-1 pitch about to be made. He walked him. So 2 walks after 2 out. Here's Lopez, who was robbed of a hit on a fine play by Cordero his first time. The law of averages is on Javi's side here.
Javi's gone the other way from David. 2 for his last 26 with runners in scoring position.
Ground ball up the middle. It's going to get through, but I don't think McGriff's going to. They're going to wave him. He's going to be out by a mile. He had to slow down to let that ball get by him, and Grissom plays so shallow. That was pretty easy. 1 hit, no runs, no errors, 2 left. Bottom of the 4th. 1-0.
America is still the land of rugged individualists.
Like a rock, I was strong as I could be. Like a rock, nothing ever got to me.
And every one of them demands something different from their Chevy truck. But they all want the same thing.
Like a rock,
The most dependable, longest-lasting trucks on the road.
like a rock.
Tiny bubbles in the wine.
Hey, the champagne's not Corbel.
Great big bubbles. Huge, disgusting, artificially injected bubbles.
Corbel, for people who know champagne.
Racing legend Richard Petty gave us an incredible challenge to try and start his toys.
All my toys.
All at once with a single diehard. So we hooked up all 9 engines, and the diehard started every one.
All at the same time.
But would it still have the power to start this big toy? Sears diehard. More power when you need it most.
Jimmy Williams still upset, probably with himself. Sean Berry leads off the bottom of the 4th. High and away, 1 ball, no strikes.
Fred was running hard, but I don't think he, in his wildest dreams, expected to get the go-ahead after having to wait for the line drive to go to center field.
Well, we've said it before, we'll say it again. If you don't ever get anybody thrown out, you've got a lousy third base coach.
Exactly right. And again, runs are at a premium. Jimmy Probably figured this might be an opportunity. With any type of wild throw, we got the game tied.
But that Grissom, I wonder how many runs, there's no way to know, but how many runs he cuts off by playing so shallow. It's really amazing. 2-1 the count here to Berry. Shook up the troops down there.
Down there in the bullpen area of the dugout. Isn't it interesting how they all still group together down there, even though the dugout and the bullpen bench are all one and the same.
By the way, I talked to Leo Mazzoni about that big meeting he had with his pitchers before the game yesterday down the left field line. So, you know, we've been struggling a little bit. I just wanted to remind them that we still have the best record in the league and there's nothing to get down about. Let's go about our business. And I reminded them, I think we've got trouble. Look at the Phillies. 60% of their rotation is no longer there. Line drive, base hit for Berry.
These guys are hitting pitches like they know what's coming. Skip, that was a 3-2 slider. And Maddox looked back at Sean Berry as he was running down to first base like, how in the world would you know that was coming?
That's the third inning out of 4 in which the leadoff man has reached. Berry doesn't look like he would be overly fast, but he too is 9 out of 9 in the stolen base department. They have 89 stolen bases on the year. Mike Lansing grounded to short his first time. There goes the runner. Swung, ground ball. Pacota's got it. Only one play. That's to first. And Berry thought about heading to third, but then decided to stay where he was. They sent the runner and stayed out of the double play. And Hill will be the batter.
In addition to his 10 sacrifices this year, Hill does have 4 hits. Maddox was able to handle him pretty easily his first time around. But 4 for 32 on the year.
Berry at second with 1 out. One ball, no strikes, the count. He had a good cut there as he fouled it away. It's 1-1. Six hits and a walk for Montreal, but they have only 1 run to this point. They have left 5 men on base in the first 3 innings. Chop towards second. Runner moves to third. Hill is retired. There are 2 out in the inning. Well, he hasn't been able to get Marquise Grissom yet. He needs to get him this time. 2 doubles to right.
Since they moved him back to the leadoff spot before tonight's game, he was hitting .333, and he's 2 for 2 tonight.
Down and in, 1 ball, no strikes. Same TV time tomorrow. Tom Glavine against Kirk Reeder. And a 1:30 start on Wednesday. John Smoltz and Butch Henry will oppose one another. Inside again. It's 2-0. Lou Frazier is next.
That's why it's only 1-0 right now, because of those missed opportunities.
3-0. After 2, the Phillies at home lead the Marlins 4-0. After 3, the Cardinals in Shea Stadium lead the Mets 2-1. There's the strike on the outside edge. 3 balls, 1 strike.
In the leadoff spot, his RBI totals have gone down. Does have 6 home runs, but with 2 out runners in scoring position, hitting under 200.
Tap toward third, but it goes foul. Jerry Manuel flips it into the seats to a youngster who is ripped off by an oldster, who gives it to another youngster, so everything works out.
Oh, he tricked him, kept it anyway.
Not a nice guy. The 3-2 pitch. Up and in with a fastball. Boy, he's got the guts of a burglar down there. That's 3 strikeouts. 1 hit, no run, no error, 1 left. At the end of 4, your score 1-0 Montreal.
NASA had 2 rules. Make it happen, make it look like a piece of cake. Moonshot, the real stuff.
A TBS original begins July 11th.
I know I'll never forget that night. It was the middle of the night. My stomach was on fire. I was scared. And when I got to the doctor, I thought he'd give me a prescription. You know what my doctor said? My doctor said Mylanta.
For occasional heartburn and acid indigestion, doctors recommend Mylanta most, even over prescription drugs.
I got my prescription. The doctor said Mylanta.
People just don't have time anymore to make a decent meal. And I have a hunch that they might enjoy chicken that's slow roasted and deep marinated, just like people would do it if they had the time. And my secret recipe. Don't know what I'd call it. Maybe I could call it Colonel's Rotisserie Gold. Maybe not.
My boys are taking me out to dinner.
Well, that's great. If you give someone a good meal at a fair price, they'll come back to you.
Did I train enough in the preseason? Did I lift enough? Yeah, I think so.
All men are created equal. Some just buy their preseasons at Foot Locker.
Wednesday night, our sister station, TNT Sports, brings you the 1994 NBA Draft. This year it comes to you from the Hoosier Dome in Indianapolis, 7:30 Eastern Time. Only on TNT Wednesday night. Mark Lemke singled his first time. He bats here leading off the 5th. And he takes a strike. It's 0-1. Can Hill deliver high and away? I hope the players show up for that draft. Reading the papers up here, there's some talk that some of them will not.
In protest of a rookie salary cap, is that
Yeah.
right? Salary cap's beginning to be an ugly word all around.
Everywhere, yeah. That plus I think there's a maximum salary for rookies that's been proposed or something. Many of the players object to having to take a pay cut to turn pro. Just kidding, of course. Just kidding. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Down and in, full count, 3-2. It's 1-0 Montreal. They scored in the first. They have left 6 runners in the first 4 innings. Braves had a potential tying run thrown out at the plate an inning ago. Lemke lashes it foul down the left field line. You could make a case for Lemke as the all-star second baseman in the National League. He's done a good job. Chased a bad ball and strikes out. Second strikeout for Hill.
Pretty good fastball running away from Mark.
Bill Pecota, the batter. Like Lemke, he singled his first time. Right in there, 0-1. Maddox moves on deck. This one of those 2-game games. If Montreal wins, they're a game and a half out. If Atlanta wins, Montreal's 3.5 up. Grounded toward third, but foul. Barry makes the play and returns it to his pitcher. Cincinnati's gotten one of those runs back against Houston. It's 3-1 with the Reds still batting in the second. That series very similar in the Central Division to this one in the Eastern.
Also got a nice throw from Marquise Grissom to keep the Braves off the board.
Pecota called out, 2 down. And Maddox the batter.
This one they bust right in on the hands. Almost the same pitch he threw Lemke. Only this one had the plate and it was to a right-handed batter. But good movement on it.
Maddox chops it to Floyd. Short hop. He makes the play. Takes it himself, and the inning is very quickly in the books. No hits, no runs, no errors, none left. We go to the bottom half of the 5th inning. It's 1-0 Expos.
The Goodwill Games, beginning July 23rd on TBS.
This may not look like summer camp, but it is. It's Zoo Camp at Busch Gardens, Tampa Bay. And every summer, kids like me come here to learn about some amazing things, like how dinosaurs grew up, that snakes only look scary, and spiders are very interesting. Best of all, it's fun for us and the animals.
Busch Gardens is an Anheuser-Busch company. Helping kids better appreciate our world is our pledge and our promise.
You just spray it on?
You just spray it on.
New Quicksilver Wheel Cleaner from Armor All. Just spray it on, and then just spray it off.
That's it? That's it.
Quicksilver Wheel Cleaner.
You guys obviously have time in your hands. You ever thought about why Duracell batteries last so long?
It's the great color. It's the copper color.
Just you mean just the sheer aesthetics of it.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
It could be a large amount of research and development.
Duracell. No other battery lasts longer.
Draft time. Grant Hill, Jason Kidd, Juwan Howard, Glenn Robinson. Who's going where? The 1994 NBA Draft. Live Wednesday, 7:30 Eastern on TNT.
Pete Van Weer and Don Sutton with you the rest of the way. If you like pitching, you got to like this. But, Pete, we see these guys all of March, but somehow it's a little different atmosphere today.
Yeah, a little bit different. These two teams know each other very well, and they know these pitchers very well, too. They face them a lot in spring training. And we're getting the anticipated duel we thought we would between Ken Hill and Greg Maddux.
Frazier, Alou, and Fletcher, first three due up, bottom of the fifth inning. There's a strike from Greg Maddux, and the count 0-1. Some interesting comments by Expo official in today's paper about this matchup this weekend in this series. Strike two to Frazier.
I thought they were very strong. The official in the front office was quoted as saying that the attendance in this three-game series would be the most important factor as far as attendance goes in the franchise's history.
It's 25 years. That's a pretty heavy statement. 1, 2, 3, go sit down. That's two in a row struck out by Maddux, 4 in a row set down. And it'll bring up Moises Alou.
He went right after him with a count 0-2. A little fastball that backs up, caught the inside corner. Frazier didn't think so, but he's gone. But that sounded to me, Don, like almost a challenge to the fans here in Montreal. If you want to keep Major League Baseball here, you better turn out in big numbers this weekend. They have tonight. Not quite a sellout, but pretty close.
A perfect night for Lou, a single and a double. First pitch swinging, comes up empty, 0-1. Did you see Maddux look toward first after that pitch? He knew he got away with a hanger. Sometimes you don't get outs with good pitches, and sometimes you give up hits on good pitches, but he got away with one there. There's a good pitch, and it's 0-2. 5 strikes in a row from Greg Maddux. Yeah, I read into that exactly the same thing you did, Pete, that if we can't draw against the best team in baseball, you have the two best one-loss records in the National League. You have arguably the two best right-handers in the National League and good pitching matchups. If we can't draw here, then we'll explore other possibilities. On the ground, but foul.
That's been a little bit disappointing for them. They're only averaging 20,000 a night. For a team with the second best record in the National League, that is a little low.
You see the crowd here tonight. Fans in the upper part to the right of the scoreboard in places where, to be honest with you, I have never seen folks come and watch a ball game. And they were into this one early, too. Off the fist, but hit pretty hard to left field. Klesko at the warning track. That may have fooled him, too, because it looked like Maddux had run that ball in on Alou, but it still carried to the track. 2 gone and 5 in a row set down by Maddux.
Well, let's take another look here. He didn't hit that ball on the fat part of the bat at all. But a little more carry to it than Ryan Klesko thought there would be. All the way back to the edge of the warning track.
2 outs for Darren Fletcher. First pitch strike. Nothing but strikes out of Maddux this inning, and it's 0-1 to Fletcher. Here's a guy I'm glad to see doing well. I had him in an interview on the pregame show and radio, and it looked like he was going to be stuck off the fist out of play 0-2, being a caddy his whole career. Started in L.A., where he was stuck behind Mike Scioscia, a left-handed hitting catcher. Traded to Philadelphia. There, just an insurance policy in case Darren Dalton couldn't recover. Remember when Dalton and Dykstra were in the automobile accident? But he has become a team leader on this ball club. Looper to center. Blauser backpedaling and got it. Good defensive play by Blauser. Good inning by Maddux. He set down 6 in a row. 5 in the books from Olympic Stadium in Montreal. The Expos still up by 1.
It was Memorial Day. I'm barbecuing for 30. I got the best chicken, I got the best steaks, I got the cheap charcoal, and I got burned.
Fire's out.
Totally.
When do we eat?
Sorry.
Still out.
So don't get burned by cheap charcoal. Buy the best.
Kingsford charcoal. Lights faster, cooks longer. Kingsford, the surefire.
I don't need some fancy cologne to tell me I'm a man. I use Skin Bracer. It smells great, but it also cools and tones my skin. Confidence is very sexy, don't you think?
Skin Bracer Aftershave.
By Menon.
Just look at the selection of car care products at Pet Boys. Now look at other places. Once more, Wow. Ooh. Oh, and when you look for every one of these at just 99 cents. At Pep Boys, if we don't have it, you don't want it. At Pep Boys, this starter comes with our lifetime warranty. At other places, you may only get 90 days. Let's see, lifetime or 90 days? Get a lifetime from just $29.99. At Pep Boys, if we don't have it, you don't want it.
The Eagle had 16 seconds of fuel left when Armstrong and Aldrin touched down. 16 seconds. Moonshot. The real stuff.
A TBS original begins Monday, July 11th.
Montreal still leading at 1-0 as we go to the top half of the 6th inning. Time for tonight's Aflac trivia question. Here it is. Who holds the Montreal Expos record for the most stolen bases in a season? We'll have the answer for you in the bottom half of the inning.
Top of the 6th, a run on 6 hits for the Expos. No runs, 3 hits, and 1 error for the Braves. The Braves' wives and a number of other people are at it again this year with something very good. After an overwhelming response to last year's sales, the Braves announced plans to produce Volume 2 of the team cookbook. That's a good news announcement. Good news it'll be there, and the better news is that Joe Simpson's recipe for chili will not be in it this year. Kelly leads it off, takes a strike. Starting the 4th of July, this book will be available for purchase at Braves Clubhouse stores. You can also order it. We'll give you a number in a minute. 1-1 to count to Kelly. Portion of the proceeds will benefit the Georgia Center for Children. It is providing quality service to help kids who are victims of abuse. Out of play down the right field line. It's 1-2. Did you get a recipe in there this year, Mr. Van Gogh?
Oh, yes. Recipes
from the players, Braves front office executives, and the broadcasters. $14.99. A shipping and handling fee of $4.50 if you order. You can call the Braves merchandising department at 614-1913. Chopper to third. Tough play for Barry. No play for Barry. It's an infield single for Kelly. His first hit of the night, and a good start for the Braves here in the 6th inning.
And a smart play by Sean Barry. Sometimes you'll see a third baseman make a play like this and still try to make a throw. You know, if he let that ball go, it might have gone into foul territory after the spin that it had on it.
Looked like it had spin. Looked like it was going to come up short of the bag at third. So Kelly, representing the tying run, is at first base. Blauser the batter. Jeff hit by a pitch in the 1st inning. Fly to right in the 2nd. Let's see how Bobby Cox plays this one. Both managers have been aggressive tonight. Hill steps off. I'm sure Joe and Skip mentioned to you that Larry Walker is still serving a suspension. I think today's the last day, right?
Right.
But has been injured. He was examined today by the Expos doctor. Got a cortisone shot in the right shoulder. Hits the Blauser outside, 1-0. He has been given clearance to play first base starting tomorrow if he wants to. He reported strength in the shoulder. He was given an MRI procedure about 4 days ago and has a small rotator cuff tear. That may have repercussions other than right here at Olympic Stadium too, the fact that he was injured. Go to first, but Kelly back scrambling.
Well, it's put the lid on a lot of trade rumors that were circulating around Larry Walker. He is no longer 100% healthy, so he's no longer as desirable as he was just a few days ago.
One of the best defensive outfielders in the league, always at the top in assists. You have to imagine that clubs who were looking and making a trade for Walker were thinking of him as a right fielder. Another throw to first, and again Kelly is back. But now you might get a whole different set of clubs. You don't have the same needs if you're looking for a right fielder as you do when you find out a first baseman becomes available. 1-0 to Blauser. Kelly, good size lead, 1 foot out on the turf. 2-0. Normally 2-0, you give a guy a chance to hit away. But the way these two managers have been playing, I wouldn't be surprised to see there's something going on here. Kelly's not going. And it's ball 3 to Blauser. Jeff 0 for 1 tonight, but he's hitting .400 for the last 2 weeks. Pushed his average all the way up into the mid-260s. Takes a strike, and it's 3-1. Interesting to watch the dugouts at a time like this. Bobby Cox signs out to Jimmy Williams. Jimmy Williams passing him on to Blauser, who's looking at him right here. But over there's another set of signs that have just been sent to Darren Fletcher. Kelly's on the move. He'll have to come back and try it again as Blauser fouls it away. 3-2. Boy, did he get a good jump. Doesn't miss anything, does he? See him even as he's going back to first base. Kelly with his eye on Jimmy Williams. That may be the only thing you will find out about the Expos that they haven't done well this year. Little cat and mouse game with Hill and Kelly. If he was going 3-1, you can almost rest assured he's on the move. 3-2. There he goes. Did Blauser go around? No swing. Ball 4. That's a third walk issued by Hill. He doesn't walk that many either, and that'll put him at first and second for the heart of the order, starting with Ryan Klesko.
Here's a sideways look at the check swing by Blauser. That's one of those borderline calls. Sometimes you see an umpire call that a strike, sometimes not. All depends on the umpire's interpretation of what constitutes a swing, and they're all a little bit different.
1-0 to Blauser. Kelly, good size lead, 1 foot out on the turf. 2-0. Normally 2-0, you give a guy a chance to hit away, but the way these two managers have been playing, I wouldn't be surprised to see there's something going on here. Kelly's not going, and it's ball 3 to Blauser. Jeff 0 for 1 tonight, but he's hitting .400 for the last 2 weeks. Pushed his average all the way up into the mid-260s. Takes a strike, and it's 3-1. Interesting to watch the dugouts at a time like this. Bobby Cox signs out to Jimmy Williams. Jimmy Williams passing him on to Blauser, who's looking at him right here. But over there's another set of signs that have just been sent to Darren Fletcher. Kelly's on the move. He'll have to come back and try it again as Blauser fouls it away. 3-2. Boy, did he get a good jump. Doesn't miss anything, does he? See him even as he's going back to first base. Kelly with his eye on Jimmy Williams. That may be the only thing you will find out about the Expos that they haven't done well this year. A little cat and mouse game with Hill and Kelly. If he was going 3-1, you could almost rest assured he's on the move 3-2. There he goes. Did Blauser go around? No swing. Ball 4. That's a third walk issued by Hill. He doesn't walk that many either, and that'll put him at first and second for the heart of the order, starting with Ryan Klesko.
Here's a sideways look at the check swing by Blauser. That's one of those borderline calls. Sometimes you see an umpire call that a strike, sometimes not. All depends on the umpire's interpretation of what constitutes a swing, and they're all a little bit different.
Ken Hill could have played without the rest of his fielders tonight when he has faced Klesko. Klesko grounded into a 1-6-3 double play and then tapped back to the pitcher in the 4th inning. On the ground, could be 2. Lansing to Cordero. Cordero to Floyd. Third double play of the night turned by the Expos. And is Blauser all right at second? He slid out of the way and hard.
Taylor made right at Mike Lansing, the second baseman. There's Blauser trying to take out Cordero down at second. But Cordero got out of the way and fired a strike to Floyd.
Two gone for Fred McGriff. Kelly at third. To left field, but that's going to get back into the stand. I was trying to keep an eye on Jeff when he was sliding down there, Pete. In his aggressiveness trying to break up the double play, he may have slid through the dirt and into the turf. And there's usually a little ridge there where the turf is attached. He may have banged his knee as he slid past it.
Looks to be okay, though.
No balls and a strike. Too much time for McGriff. Breaking ball stays outside, and it's 1-1. The only man in the lineup who has had that kind of success against right-hander Ken Hill. Boy, he laid off a tough pitch there, and it's 2-1. McGriff flied to left his first time up. Walked, got as far as third base, but the Braves couldn't get him home in the 4th inning. Right up over 300 at 305. Another one low, and it's 3-1.
Maybe pitching around Fred McGriff a little here. You saw the success he's had, but the guy on deck, David Justice, just 1 for 20 in his career against Hill, and you've got a base open.
And I'll bet you Kent Hill knows that. Well, let's see what he delivers to McGriff. You may be right. That was nowhere near the strike zone. Second walk of the inning, 4th in the ball game, and he will get to face David Justice. Isn't it amazing the way this happens? You see Justice wear out pitchers who pitch in similar fashion. Split finger fastballs and breaking balls. I can remember some of his hitting successes against the Giants, and almost every starter on that staff the last couple of years has been a split finger fastball pitcher. Kelly at third, McGriff at first. 2 gone for Justice. Fouls away the inside fastball, and it's 0-1. I would bet you have to be so conscious of his split finger that anytime you throw a fastball or he throws you a fastball, it's tough to lay off of it even out of the strike
And
zone.
there also might be something about Ken Hill's delivery, because remember, Terry Pendleton has turned around from the left side and hit right-handed against Ken Hill, because he said he has a little trouble picking up the ball when he bats left-handed against Hill. So maybe certain left-handers have a little trouble picking up the ball because of Hill's delivery.
Well, if you watch his arm, his right arm, it's not a full circle like you see most pitchers. Almost he pushes it straight back and short arms it, hides it well. Down low, and it's 1-1.
You're going to see the ball very late in his delivery, and that might be what makes him so effective against the left-hand hitters.
There's that split finger.
You know, if you look, Don, at the hits for the Braves in the lineup tonight, Roberto Kelly has one. He's a right-hand batter. Javi Lopez has one. He's a right-hand batter. Bill Pecota has one. He's a right-hand batter.
There's 3 out of the 4 right there.
Mark Lemke has the other one. He's got the only left-handed hit off of Hill.
There's a good example of what you were talking about, Pete. See how that arm stayed behind him as he turned? You never really get a chance to see it till it's headed toward home. And they have him picked off. Let's see how this works. Here comes the runner. Is he out? The run will score. The run scores. Good base running by Fred McGriff to stay in the rundown. And good base running by Roberto Kelly. The Braves get a run in the inning thanks to some nifty base running. They do it on 1 hit and nobody left on base. We played 5 1/2. We're tied at 1.
They speak it in England, France, and Germany. It sounds the same in the U.S. and Mexico as it does in Hong Kong and Tokyo. It's the international language of business. And wherever it's spoken, Delta Airlines can put you right in the middle of the conversation. And then we'll bring you back to that place where you don't have to say a word to be understood. Delta Airlines.
In New Britain, Connecticut, people know how to make a home worth more.
The Hummels are doing a new deck.
Because New Britain is also the home of Stanley.
Frank is redoing his roof.
And nobody has more innovative ways to make a house more livable.
Liz is redoing her bathroom.
Or more valuable.
And the Sandowskis are redoing everything.
Ever wish you had a better house?
So, Arnold,
Why not get started on the one you've got?
what are we doing?
No two people are exactly alike.
Hi.
While Bob likes the high gloss shine of original Armor All Protectant, Fred prefers new low gloss Armor All with the rich, deep finish.
I gotta be me.
Either way, it's your choice. Only from Armor All.
When sports cream? When arms are sore. When legs ache. When muscles hurt. Why sports cream? Massaging sports cream in brings fast pain relief. No medicine-y smell. No odor. Why sports cream? Because it works.
Tied at 1 on a play that you seldom see work, and it backfired in Montreal even though it looked like it was going to work. That bluff throw to third. Fred McGriff was taking off from first. Hill running toward him, then flips the ball to his first baseman. Cliff Floyd chasing McGriff. McGriff staying in the rundown long enough to allow the run to score from third. Kelly crossing home just before the tag was applied by Cordero. And what a weird way to tie a ball game.
And Pete, I'll bet you that dive to the carpet there by McGriff was deliberate because it took an extra 2 steps for Cordero to get to him. That allowed the run to score. Speaking of Cordero, he will lead it off here in the bottom of the 6th inning. A run on 6 hits for the Expos. A run on 4 hits for the Braves. Cordero, Floyd, and Berry. To right center field. Long run for Kelly. He's not going to get it. More extra bases for the Expos. That's 7 hits for the Expos, and 4 of them have been doubled.
We have not forgot our answer to the Aflac trivia question, which tonight was who holds the Expos record for the most stolen bases in a season. And the answer is Ron LaFleur, 97 steals back in 1980.
Nobody out. The go-ahead run standing at second base. Cliff Floyd, the hitter. He's 0 for 1. He's walked and he's grounded to short.
In 4 of the 6 innings, the Expos have gotten their leadoff man on base with a hit.
And have stranded one in every inning except the 5th. The only 1-2-3 inning of the night by Greg Maddux. Outside 1-0.
Maddux pitching very much like we've seen him pitch in some other games when he's given up a lot of hits and few runs. Pitching well with runners in scoring position. The Expos 0 for their last 9 in this situation.
I think you saw earlier in the night a graphic that showed you that Maddux had given up his first inning run this year. Chases a bad one. It bounces away from Lopez. So Cordero will make it over to third. That will probably be scored a wild pitch. Bobby Cox telling his infielders play it halfway. If it comes straight at you, take that scored a pass ball. That looked like it skipped up there down in the dirt.
Well, the official score right now is calling it a pass ball.
But he changed one earlier tonight, so we'll see what happens. Runner at third, 1-1 to count. Make it 1-2. We were saying earlier, maybe you saw the graphic, Maddox's first run allowed in the first inning. Well, the last 3 times that it happened last year, Maddux and the Braves won the ball game, so that's encouraging. Strike 3 to Floyd. For Maddux, strikeout number 5.
And this is that pitch you see so many left-hand hitters give up on. The fastball looks like it's going to be inside. Well, Maddux might have gotten a little break on that call. That ball did not come back as much as some of the other fastballs in the inside corner we've seen Maddux throw, but he gets the call.
Got a little help there from Javi Lopez too, as he smoothly drew that ball back toward the strike zone. Runner at third, 1 gone. Sean Berry, the hitter, he's 1 out of 2. I was down on the field prior to the game to do the radio pregame show. We see Sean Berry from up here, and he looks like just an average-sized guy. But boy, when you get close up, he is one well-built young man. Only 5 homers this year, but it wouldn't surprise me if somewhere in the near future he adds to that tally and hits somewhere around 20. 1-0 the count. Don't think we're in sync here tonight. They have Barry's picture on the scoreboard and David Justice hitting. That's not the way it is. Fouled away and it's 1-1. There you are. Sean Berry, a lot more hair than David Justice right now. Well, for $1.2 billion, what can you expect? A ball and a strike to Berry. Braves still with the infield in. Almost got him. 2-1. That's high, and it's 3-1.
This might be by design a little bit too, Don. You've got the 8 and 9 men coming up next. Mike Lansing, who has one of the lower batting averages in the Expo batting order, and a pitcher coming up next. Maybe Greg feels he has a better chance of getting out of this inning with those two than he does with Barry and Lansing.
Believe me, Maddox doesn't do anything without thinking it through. But I'm sure he knows Barry's 5 out of 11 against him. Coming inside. That'll run at full 3-2. Barry 5 out of 11. Lansing, on the other hand, 0 for 6. So that very well could be the case. That's going to get out of play down the right field line. Still 3-2. The run given up tonight by Maddox in the first inning. Only the second in how many innings to these guys? Something like 23. So he has done his most effective pitching, some of his most effective pitching against the Expos. He's having himself a battle here with Sean Barry. I was interested, Pete, in doing the pregame show with Darren Fletcher. You know, normally you want to ask guys, well, you train with these guys, is that an advantage or a disadvantage or whatever? What he said was that he thought that it took away the anxiety or the anticipation of facing a ball club because you know all these guys. Maybe you don't know all the secrets you'd like to know about them, but it's almost like seeing somebody that you've roomed with. You know them very well. So he said in that regard, it kind of takes away from the unknown. Chased a bad one. Good job of pitching by Maddox. Second strikeout in the inning. 6 for the game, and now the infield can move back.
And a great sequence of pitches. He threw him a fastball away. Barry fouled it off. He threw him a fastball in. Barry fouled it off. Then he came back with a changeup to get him.
Nice job, Javi Lopez. That could have scored it through all the way to the screen.
Now Bobby Cox to the mound. They'll talk about whether or not to intentionally walk Mike Lansing and go after Ken Hill. Maddox might talk him out of this.
Now, let me ask you what your thinking is on this. When it's a situation where he says pitch around him if you want to. If you in the back of your mind are thinking, well, I'm probably going to walk him, had you rather go ahead and intentionally walk him?
I think if you think you're going to pitch around him, I'd rather intentionally walk him because you take away the mistake pitch there.
That's right. How many times have we seen that happen in the last couple of weeks where opposing pitchers have been trying to pitch around Braves hitters, specifically to Mark Lemke a couple of 3 times. Well, the meeting is over. We'll see what they figured out.
They are going to put him on.
Eliminate the possibility of a mistake. The intentional walk. Second walk of the night issued by Maddox.
Back to your comments about how well these two teams know each other. I think it works to the advantage of the Expos, to the disadvantage a little bit of the Braves.
Really?
Yeah. Because even in 91, 92, and last year, the Braves have never had much luck with this Montreal team. And they come into this ballpark always a little apprehensive. And I think they know that Montreal knows probably more about them than any other team in the National League. On the other hand, on the Montreal part of it, you know, they don't, like you say, it's like an old roommate that you're facing. Mm-hmm. They come in loose as can be whenever they're playing against the Braves, no matter where the Braves are. Now in the same division, it could work in Montreal's favor.
Ball 4 is outside. Lansing is down to first base. Cordero still at third. 2 gone, and it's the pitcher Ken Hill. Hill hitting a .121. 0 for 2 tonight. Struck out looking, grounded to second. Maddox would take either of those right here. but anybody with a bat in their hands is dangerous. On the ground, right at Lemke. Booted by Lemke. And that'll do it. Well, the strategy works. Maddox leaves them standing at first and third for the Expos in the inning. No runs, 1 hit, no errors, 2 left. 6 in the books from Montreal. We're still tied at 1.
There's no place on earth that I'd rather be than out in the open where it's all plain to see. If it's gonna get done, it's up to you and to me. And there's no place that I'd rather be. Come on along and head for the mountains of Bushmere. Head for the mountains, it's cold and it's smooth, and it's waiting for you. Come on, head for the mountains of Bushmere.
Every year, American business wastes millions of dollars on international calls by using the wrong long-distance company. Now you don't have to waste that money. Introducing MCI's Proof Positive Worldwide. Save up to 50% off typical international calls around the world. Call by June 30th and get 1 month of free long distance. Call MCI now and put your money back in your business.
Lots of gasolines talk performance, but no gasoline delivers it to more drivers than Shell. Shell, the world's best-selling gasoline.
1-1 to score. As you can see by our Budweiser game summary, it's been almost all Grissom and Alou tonight, but it could have been a heck of a lot worse. The Expos 1 out of 13 with men in scoring position. A credit to Greg Maddox, some good pitching when they've gotten them on. The Braves run coming on a trick play that worked and then didn't work for the Expos. We're going to the 7th inning, tied at 1, and as we do, let's turn it over to Pete Van Weerden for the play-by-play.
Okay, thank you, Don. David Justice, who was batting when that unusual play occurred in the 6th inning, will lead off here in the 7th. He is grounded out to first and walked.
Normally they teach you on rundown plays, Pete, to run the runner back to the bag that he came from. In that play, though, you're better off running him towards second, getting the ball in the hands of the second baseman immediately because the play at the plate is in front of him. He can watch it.
Bill's first pitch to Justice, missing outside. 1 ball, no strikes. Justice, Lopez, and Lemke to up here in the 7th inning. 1-1 game. Now to play, 1 ball, 1 strike. Fouled away. 1-2. Well, the Expos front office got their wishes tonight. 45,291 on hand for the first game of this series. One of the biggest crowds of the year here in Montreal. On the ground to first, Floyd will play the high hop. Toss to Hill, covering, 1 down. 1 away, and that'll bring up Javi Lopez, who is grounded out to short and singled.
Young man you saw at first base having himself a pretty good year. What are they going to do with him when Walker comes back and moves to first?
Well, they're going to move him to the outfield. Cliff Floyd about to be displaced as the Expos first baseman when Larry Walker comes back. Another ground ball, this one to the shortstop Cordero. And quickly 2 are gone here in the top of the 7th. That'll bring up Mark Lemke, who had a leadoff single to start the 3rd inning. Went down on strikes leading off the 5th. Mark with some friends and relatives in town from Utica, New York, to take in this series. ball, no strikes. The count on Lemke. Steve Bedrosian getting loose now in the Atlanta bullpen.
Just in case somebody gets on.
Count goes to 2-0. A little bit of a shocker from Los Angeles tonight.
Oh, could you believe that when it came across the wire? That might have been a little bit of a wake-up call.
Jose Offerman optioned to Albuquerque. Rafael Bornegal has been called up, but Offerman has been a mainstay at short for the Dodgers for the last 3 years. He's back in AAA. Lemke walks on 4 straight. Walk number 5 issued by Ken Hill. And a runner at first with 2 out now for Bill Pecota. Pecota singled in the 3rd, caught looking in the 5th inning. 1 for 2 on the night. Lemke at first, 2 outs. Outside corner, 0-1. Tony Tarasco has moved out on deck. So he would pinch hit for Maddox if Pecota reaches.
Hill only 1 complete game, Pete, in 15 starts, and it seems like first 6 innings are always very good for him. Well, there it is right there. The 7th inning on. Batting average jumps up about 100 points or so. This is the 7th inning. Maybe that's encouraging for the Braves.
Good stop by Fletcher as the count goes to 1-1 now on Pecota. On the ground to 3rd. Berry has it. The throw across is in time, and that's all for Atlanta. In the 7th, they leave a runner at first. We go to the bottom half of the 7th inning, still tied 1-1.
This is LA. We have tons of friends. This is Posh. This is my wife. This is my neighbor. This is my son-in-law. This is my very good neighbor. This is my number 2 daughter. Hi. This is my neighbor, John. When I found out that I needed surgery, it was kind of a shock.
Luckily, it turned out.
Aflac really helped protect our savings. Just really took the worry away.
Aflac covers the unexpected cost of getting better so you can get on with life.
Don is definitely not a dancer.
Hey, what are you doing here, Fred?
I'm the new star for Days Inn.
Come on, everybody knows I'm their spokesperson.
Oh, yeah? Well, I've been staying at Days Inn since the Stone Age.
But kids under 12 stay scot-free.
I kind of like the sound of Fred free better.
Oh, yeah? Well,
Stay at Days Inn with the family fun rate now. And kids get these Flintstone travel packs free. Collect all 3. Call 1-800-DAYS-IN.
Yabba-dabba-doo!
I was running late the other day when the car started acting up. You know, a little light came on, it says check engine. You know, the one that always means a trip to the dealer, right? Well, I go to AutoZone. I tell the guy about it. He says, let's take a look. So we go outside, pop the hood, and he starts running some tests right there. Turns out it was just something little, but he saved me a lot. You know, if they can test this stuff for free at AutoZone, why would you go anyplace else?
Quite a few Braves fans in attendance here at Olympic Stadium, and a big crowd of over 45,000, including Betsy Davidson, who's on a tour of Major League ballparks. This is the 8th ballpark she's been to in the last 2 weeks. She's from Atlanta, here in attendance tonight. And we go to the bottom half of the 7th inning. Top of the order, Marquise Grissom, who has doubled twice and struck out. And takes a strike from Maddox, 0-1.
That pitch hurt Javi Lopez. You have heard occasionally we will mention a pitch called a backup slider. Normally a slider from a right-handed hitter goes down and away, or at least goes away. Sometimes a pitcher will get right up on top of it, and there'll be so much spin that it will back up and come inside. When a catcher reaches for it, sometimes you catch it off the thumb, and I'll bet you that's what happened to Javi Lopez there.
Now the 0-1, the breaking ball grounded between short and third. Base hit. The third hit of the night for Marquise Grissom. And for the 5th inning, the Expos have their leadoff man on.
You have to be looking breaking ball to hit a pitch like this. A Maddox curveball right on top of the plate. I guarantee you it wasn't 6 inches off the plate when he hit it.
So now you've got a dangerous runner at first. Marquise Grissom with 26 stolen bases, second in the league to Deion Sanders, who has 31. And Lou Frazier, the batter. Frazier 1 for 3 tonight. He drove in Montreal's run with a first inning single.
Maddox tough to run on because he is one of the best in the business at varying the looks, the time, and his moves to first base.
Now the pitch to Frazier. He squares and takes a strike outside corner. 0-1. Jerry Manuel flashing signs. Trying to read lips there. Looked like Marquise Grissom was inquiring to Louis Pujols about a possible pitch out here.
Yes. That was the time to ask it too. The Braves had their own little meeting going on. Fred McGriff had moved toward the infield.
Nothing in 1 on Frazier.
Big lead.
And they are pitching out. Grissom quickly returns to first, so he read it right. 1 ball, 1 strike.
Now do you back up a pitch out with another pitch out?
If you've got the control over Greg Maddux, you can do that.
He showed bunt on the first pitch, Pete, but that was not to bunt. That was to give some coverage and protection to Grissom in case he was going to run.
Missing outside. 2-1.
Javi Lopez watching that man. One of those signs may or may not mean something, but the step off, some of the throws to first base, and all the pitch outs called from the bench.
Missing down and away. 3-1.
He was looking for a pitch out. 2-1. Because Grissom broke, but he kept his eye on home plate, not on Maddox the whole time.
Three balls and a strike now on Frazier.
Baseball has changed a lot in the last few years. There's an example right there. I'm not sure Bobby Cox was calling the throw to first, but more and more you will see throws to first base pretty much taken out of the pitcher's hands, and even they will be called from the bench.
Runner is going on the 3-1. Swung on, missed. The throw by Lopez is late. Stolen base for Marquise Grissom, his 27th of the year. And the count now 3-2 on Frazier.
Waited till he was sure the pitch was going home. Got a good jump. This is a good throw by Javi Lopez, but the jump was so good. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 steps. He even took a look and then kicked it up a notch. He's a good base runner.
Mark Lemke may have got a little dirt in his eye there. Jeff Porter, the Braves assistant trainer, coming out.
That pitch, a strike to Frazier. 2 strikes on him. You showed earlier that he doesn't have a single sacrifice from the left side. What he has been able to do is hit well with 2 strikes. And his batting average, when you look up on the board, is in the 340s. The reason for that, look what he's doing his last few times at bat every night. Right now, he'll be thinking whatever it takes to get Grissom the third.
Count of 3-2 as Lemke is tended to. Jeff Porter back to the Atlanta dugout.
Don't ignore Grissom at second.
He's going to third. The 3-2 pitch gets away. Ball 4. Lopez chasing it down as Maddox comes home to cover. And now time called by Jeff Blauser. It'll be a stolen base for Marquise Grissom to get him to third. Ball 4 gets Frazier to first. Still nobody out.
Grissom looked like he wanted to run when Maddox squealed. Here, he just waited till Maddox picked that leg up. He was banking on the fact that Maddox would not wheel to second twice and got a running jump. Look at the lead, look at the jump.
So 28 stolen bases now for Marquise Grissom. Runners are at first and third, nobody out for Moises Alou. A single, double, and fly to left. And quickly the Braves bullpen is going to get into action here. Steve Bedrosian and Mike Stanton will begin to throw. The runner at first, Frazier, going. Lopez will let him go. More concerned with Grissom down at third. Stolen base for Frazier. His 14th of the year, and these Expos have let it be known from the outset in this game they're going to be very, very aggressive in this series.
This is one of the few times I have ever been at Olympic Stadium when I thought the crowd becomes a factor, and it has right now. Oftentimes we have said when you come in here it's almost like watching a movie about baseball, but this crowd of 45,000 definitely getting involved, and they're making communication a little bit difficult, not only among our group but among the ones wearing that uniform down there.
Here's the 0-1 delivery. 1 ball, 1 strike. Frazier at second, Grissom at third. Nobody out. 1-1 game in the bottom of the 7th. The Expos have left 8 men on base in the game. The only 1-2-3 inning of the night for Greg Maddux was the 5th.
Alou, a tough man to fan. You'd like to have a strikeout right here, but he's only about 1 out of every 10 at bats.
Little pop to the right side of the infield. This will be out number 1. Lemke waits for it. And Alou retired. The runners have to stay put. And that'll bring up Darren Fletcher. It was fly to right, grounded out to first, and popped to short. Montreal left the bases loaded in the first inning. They left a runner at second in the second. They left a runner at third in the third, a runner at third in the fourth, and runners at first and third in the sixth. So Maddox has been tiptoeing around these situations all night long.
Maddox spent about 30 seconds right there looking in the dugout. It's almost like he's asking permission to, and he's going to get it, to intentionally walk Fletcher. Before any motion was made out of the dugout, Maddox stared in, trying to get a commitment from those two guys, and I think this is the decision he wanted.
This will set up, of course, a potential double play and a ground ball. Will Cordero will be the next hitter. The intentional walk to Fletcher, the fourth walk of the night issued by Maddox. Bases loaded, one man out. Cordero tonight has hit into a 5-4 force play. He has struck out, and he has doubled 1 for 3.
That double puts him at 300 on the nose, and Pete, be alive on the first pitch. This guy likes to jump on anything straight anywhere near the strike zone on the first pitch.
He has been the hottest hitter in the Expos batting order for the last 2 weeks. Bases loaded, one gone. Upstairs, ball one.
A lot of guys, when they want to get a ground ball for a double play, would go to the curveball or the slider. So often we see Maddox come inside with the fastball. It has a sinking action. A lot of right-handers top it, and he's gotten a lot of ground ball outs.
1-0 pitch, ground ball foul up over the Atlanta dugout. 1 ball, 1 strike. Here comes the 1-1 delivery. Fly ball hit out to left field. Klesko is there under it. He's got it for the out. Tagging at third, Grissom. The throw will come to third. And the Expos are back on top 2-1. Cordero stays away from the ground ball. A sac fly to left, his 34th RBI of the year. 2-1 Montreal. Frazier holding at second, Fletcher holding at first, and now Cliff Floyd, who has walked, popped to short, and struck out.
That's his first sacrifice fly of the year, and he did just exactly what you want a hitter to do in that. Keep it off the ground. That is
Mel Rojas going to work down the Expos bullpen. A ball low on Floyd. 1 ball, no strikes. 2 runs, 8 hits for the Expos. 1 run, 4 hits, and 1 error for Atlanta. We're in the bottom half of inning 7. Expos trying to draw within a game and a half of the Braves' lead in the National League East. He tried to stop his swing, but I think he went. He did. 1-1. Here's the 1-1 offering. Bouncing ball. Squibbed foul down the left field line. That almost stayed fair. And the count on Floyd 1-2. Floyd just 1 for his last 18.
You know, now that the Braves and the Expos are in the same division, looks like they're going to battle each other. You may see Bill Lakery schedule some games a little differently in the next spring so that you can put your 5 starting pitchers against other teams.
Runner at second is going to pitch inside to Floyd. The throw almost got by Pacoda. Another stolen base for Lou Frazier. His second of the inning and his 15th of the year rather.
And a heck of a play by Pacoda. If Pacoda doesn't show some real athletic ability here, almost got him with that one, threw over the top. Watch Pacoda. He saves a run, and there's a pretty good chance that Fletcher would have been all the way around to third. There goes the jump. Here comes the throw. Watch Pacoda. One heck of a play. That saved a run.
2-2 the count now on Floyd. 2 men out, first and third now. And the 2-2. Fly ball deep right field. David Justice looks up. This ball's gone. 3-run homer for Cliff Floyd. And the Expos lead it 5-1. Only the 3rd homer of the year for Cliff Floyd.
And only the 3rd allowed by Maddox. Pete, he did everything he could to get Floyd off the changeup. Remember, he ran 2 right in on his navel, but that was a good changeup right on top of the plate. Floyd had to be sitting on an off-speed pitch.
So it's a noisy end to the evening for Greg Maddox. And Steve Bedrosian has come on to pitch.
Every year, American business wastes millions of dollars on international calls by using the wrong long-distance company. Now you don't have to waste that money. Introducing MCI's Proof Positive Worldwide. Save up to 50% off typical international calls around the world. Call by June 30th and get 1 month of free long distance. Call MCI now and put your money back in your business.
Our family's always been careful when it comes to the medicines we take. I remember there was only one brand of pain reliever my mother ever trusted, Goodies. Today, we still rely on Goodies for headaches or any kind of pain. We really like Goodies pain relief tablets. They're a tablet form of Goodies headache powders, made with the same proven formula. Just as strong, just as fast. For this family, for any kind of pain, we trust Goodies.
Goodies, a name you can trust.
The Expos have opened up a lead on a 3-run homer by Cliff Floyd, somewhat of a reluctant hero. He had to be pushed back out there. 45,000 or so wanted a curtain call, and they got it.
And Steve Bedrosian takes over, making his 27th appearance out of the Braves bullpen. Sean Berry is the hitter. He's 1 for 3. 5-1 Montreal. Outside corner for a called strike. The Expos were hoping to get some power out of Cliff Floyd this year. He hit 29 home runs combined major and minor league totals last year, but he only had 2 coming into this game until that last swing. 0-2 on Berry.
Now, granted, some ill-informed person will write tomorrow and it'll show up in the paper.
That's all for Berry.
He'll call it a mistake by Maddox on that pitch. That was not a mistake. He picked that right off the plate. Maddox made the pitch. Floyd just did a better job of hitting.
And the Expos lead it 5-1.
Everybody hates to eat and run. We'd rather take it slow. But the way this life is going, gotta grab your food and go. And when all that running round catches up with you at last, get yourself some Alka-Seltzer and you'll feel better fast.
For acid indigestion or heartburn with headache, nothing makes you feel better faster than Alka-Seltzer.
Get yourself some Alka-Seltzer and you'll feel better fast.
Racing legend Richard Petty gave us an incredible challenge to try and start his toys.
All my toys.
All at once with a single diehard. So we hooked up all 9 engines, and the diehard started every one.
All at the same time.
But would it still have the power to start this big toy? Sears diehard. More power when you need it most.
Even with the best products, something goes wrong once in a while. Now, while that might be okay at some companies, it's not at Motorola Cellular. Motorola sets their standards a lot higher. And just how high are they? Well, for me to hit that level of consistency, I'd have to go 30 years without missing a single putt.
Motorola, setting standards of quality the whole world can shoot for.
Time for a look at our Delta score. After a rain delay, they're playing again in Philadelphia. A couple of home runs by Langford for St. Louis. Chicago 1-0. Banks is pitching that one. Houston, Kyle has a lead. In Colorado, David Need leading that one 6-4. A little later, San Francisco at LA. In the American League, Jimmy Key looks like he is going to win number 12 for New York. Baltimore, Harold Baines a homer. Well, I'll tell you what, since we probably won't have time, why don't we give you all the rest of the American League a little bit later on. But a reminder, you can tune in to CNN Sports tonight at 11 o'clock Eastern with Nick Charles, Fred Hickman. Get all the scores and highlights.
Tony Tarasco bats for Steve Bedrosian to lead off the 8th, hitting .284. 5 homers, 14 RBIs. Braves down by 4 now, 5-1. Ken Hill. Missing outside, ball 2. Well, Doug Drabek tried yesterday to become the first National League pitcher to win 11. He failed. Tonight it was Maddox and Hill each going for their 11th, and Hill might be the first one there. Here's the 2-0 pitch to Tarasco, and there's a strike in the inside corner, 2-1. High and away, ball 3, 3-1 the count. Mel Rojas keeping ready in the Expos bullpen. In the air to straightaway center. Marquise Grissom had him played perfectly. Doesn't have to move. 1 gone.
Why don't we, let's take a look at the American League now. Like we said, Jimmy Key looks like he's going to win number 12 for New York. Baines a homer for Baltimore. Milwaukee getting good pitching out of Eldred in that one. Gordon has a lead for Kansas City. He has won 7 already. California at Oakland a little bit later on. Detroit at Seattle. That's a look at our Delta scoreboard.
Now Roberto Kelly, who's 1 for 3 and an infield hit back in the 6th. A little high, ball 1. Upstairs, ball 2, 2-0.
I don't know, maybe it's a little shot of adrenaline or something, but Hill going almost exclusively to his fastball here. Darren Fletcher reminding him to stay on top.
It goes to 3-0, and echoing around Olympic Stadium now, Montreal's version of the chant. There's a strike, 3-1. Good fastball there. 3-2 to count and Kelly.
Maybe the best of the night. That had some giddy up on it.
The Expos so accustomed to this role the last 3 years of chasing a leader. In a little bit of a different spot down to the realignment. There's ball 4 to Kelly because they're chasing Atlanta. But last year they were the team chasing the Phillies. 2 years ago they were the team chasing the Pirates. And as Philippe Alou said a couple of days ago, one of these days we're going to catch somebody. And the Braves are hoping it's not them. You're going to get a great round of applause for Ken Hill as Mel Rojas checks into the game for Montreal. A crowd of 45,000 plus on their feet.
This week in Braves history is brought to you by Buick and your local Buick dealers.
Meet the Parker twins, Bob and Fred.
Hi.
Identical in every way, except when it comes to taking care of their cars. Bob likes the shine of original Armor All protectant, but not Fred.
I gotta be me.
Fred's discovered the rich, deep finish of new low-gloss Armor All. It protects like original Armor All.
But without the glossy shine.
Original or new low gloss.
Now it's your choice.
Only from Armor All.
Hey, can I try that?
All this? For me? You shouldn't have.
But I did.
Want a Bond?
Yes.
Well, go get the remote control.
James Bond. 4 movies July 4th on TBS.
Couple of changes for Montreal. Tim Spear checks into the game to catch. He will bat 9th. And the new pitcher batting in the number 4 spot, right-hander Mel Rojas, making his 37th appearance. 2-2 with 12 saves. ERA right at 3. The league's only hitting .211 against Rojas, averaging almost a strikeout per inning. He has 12 saves. John Wetland has 13. Many of Rojas's saves coming when Wetland was out with an injury. And Ken Hill, an excellent outing tonight. 7 1/3 innings, 4 hits, 1 run to this point. The runner at first belongs to him. He did walk 6 in the game. That's a little high for him. And he recorded 3 strikeouts. Jeff Blauser 0 for 1, hit by a pitch, fly to right, and walked. Oh, and 1 the count. Chopped foul, and Rojas ahead on the countdown, 0-2. Rojas, another player on this Montreal team, around whom a lot of trade rumors were circulating early in the year. But I think as the Expos stay in this race with the Braves, I don't think they're going to be parting with guys like Mel Rojas. He's very valuable as a setup man or as an emergency closer if John Wetland either is hurt or not getting the job done in that role.
They would have no trouble finding somebody to take him off their hands if they wanted a deal.
Again to first, again Kelly back. Greg Olson is up in the Atlanta bullpen. One and 2 now on Blauser. Blauser in his career 0 for 2 against Rojas. Among the current Braves, in fact, there are only 3 who have ever gotten a base hit off of Rojas. Rafael Belliard, Mark Lemke, and Charlie O'Brien. Everybody else is 0 for something. And that's all for Blauser. Rojas records the strikeout, 2 gone.
Off speed low, and then here's the fastball right at the belt, inside corner. Good spot.
Now Ryan Klesko 0 for 3. He's hit into 2 double plays tonight. A 1-6-3 in the first, a 4-6-3 in the 6th.
Expos put together a good pitching staff here, but the one thing that you will notice from the starters and the relievers is that they are prone to give up the long one.
Nothing in one on Klesko. Two of their hurlers right at the top of the list among National League relievers. When you talk about the effectiveness of a John Wetland and a Mel Rojas, and combined they have 25 saves, and the entire Expo staff has 30 saves. They also have 12 blown saves this year. So the bullpen has been good most of the time, but they have had their bad moments. In a right center field off the bat of Klesko, heading toward the gap. Kelly around second, heads for third. He'll get the green light. Klesko on his way to second. Kelly coming home. Here comes the throw. It'll be late. And it's now 5-2 as Klesko drives in his 32nd run of the year with a double to right center. His 11th two-base hit.
Got one out over the plate. Klesko got full extension on that belt-high fastball. They had shaded him around toward left center field, so it was a long run for Grissom. He played that about as well as you can. Here comes the relay. Two good defensive plays made that play closer than it should have been. Good defensive outfield here.
And now with Fred McGriff due up, Joe Kerrigan, the pitching coach, out for a word with Rojas. McGriff in his career is 0 for 5 against Rojas. In tonight's game, he has walked twice and fly to left. And John Wetland is up now in the Montreal bullpen. (5-2) is our score. Klesko at second, 2 outs. And here is McGriff. Taking ball one low.
Obviously, the outcome of this game is still in doubt, Pete, but isn't this a good example tonight of what leadoff hitters are supposed to do? First 2 runs scored by the Braves, the only 2 runs, the leadoff man, Kelly. First 2 scored by Montreal, the leadoff man, Grissom.
1-0 pitch to McGriff, caught the outside corner. 1 ball, 1 strike. Now the 1-1 on the way, and it's a fastball right down the middle for a strike, 1 and 2.
This is one that turned out to be a perfect pitch, but about 2 feet from where it was originally intended. Spear was set up over the outside corner. Rojas caught the inside corner.
Here's the 1-2. Little chopper hit down the first base side. Rojas will run it down in fair territory and take it all the way to the bag for out number 3. So the Braves get 1 run on the Ryan Klesko double, but that's all. We go to the bottom half of the 8th with Montreal still leading 5-2.
NASA had 2 rules. Make it happen, make it look like a piece of cake. Moonshot, the real stuff.
A TBS original begins July 11th.
Here's to the cowboy, still a modern-day hero. Standing up for what's right as he rides across this land. He still earns every dollar to pass through his hand. So here's to the cowboy as he heads for the mountains. No place he'd rather be than right here. So come on along and head for the mountains of Bush here.
Racing legend Richard Petty gave us an incredible challenge to try and start his toys.
All my toys.
All at once with a single diehard. So we hooked up all 9 engines, and the diehard started every one.
All at the same time.
But would it still have the power to start this big toy? Sears diehard. More power when you need it most.
Between my family and my job, I don't have time for a headache. And I've never found a pain reliever that works faster than Goody's headache powders. Make it Goody!
And make it fast.
In fact, doctors preferred the Goodies formula 3-to-1 over BC's. 3-to-1.
Hey, when I get a bad headache, I can't just take a break and wait for some ordinary pain reliever to kick in.
Make it Goodies!
Make it fast.
Goodies in powders and tablets.
Montreal leads at 5-2, bottom of the 8th inning. This exciting weekend here against the Expos continues tomorrow night, and we'll have it right here for you on TBS. 7:30 a game time. Good pitching matchup. Tom Glavine against Kirk Reeder.
And we go to the bottom half of the 8th inning. You saw Tony Tarasco stayed in the game out in left field, and the new pitcher is right-hander Greg Olson, coming off his best outing since coming up to Atlanta. That scoreless inning he worked against the Philadelphia Phillies a couple of nights ago. See if he can follow it up with a good one here. Mike Lansing leads it off and takes ball 1. Braves were very encouraged. They said that was the best curveball and the best velocity on the fastball that they had seen from Olson all year in his last appearance. Two 2-0 the count now on Lansing. Tim Spear on deck. High again, ball 3, 3-0. And he walked him on 4 straight. So the leadoff man is on. That'll bring up Tim Spear batting for the first time. Spear hitting 192 on the year. No homers, 4 RBIs. And Leo Mazzoni is going to head to the mound. He's got something to say to Greg Olson.
You can get hitters to chase that pitch right there at the top of the strike zone, Pete, if you're a curveball pitcher. But you have to start the curveball off there and start getting strikes on it. Then hitters won't be able to stand there and just take those pitches. But unless you're throwing that other pitch for strikes, there's really no reason for them to ever swing it one at the top of the strike zone.
Nobody out. Lansing at first. A little bit of a frustrating time right now for Greg Olson when you've been a dominant closer as he has been with the Baltimore Orioles all those years. Trying to come back from an injury, it's got to be very frustrating to go out there and not be able to do the things that you were able to do so easily before the injury. Spear shows bunt, takes ball 1 high.
Most curveball pitchers from Camilo Pascual right on to Greg Olson usually had a little bit of a tilt back to help trigger the angle that wants you to throw the curveball down. If you watch Olson right now, his shoulders are staying almost parallel. That's one of the reasons he's throwing high pitches.
Runner is going. 1-0 pitch taken for a strike. Throw to second base will be late. Another stolen base for the Expos. They have been running almost at will tonight for Mike Lansing. That is his 7th steal.
Got a pretty good jump. Pitch up in the strike zone. The throw to Blauser a little bit low, but the jump was what made it. Watch this jump. Olson tilted back there before the front foot landed. Lansing had a running start. Speeded it up a little bit on his slide by going head first.
That is 6 stolen bases in the game tonight by Montreal. Now the 1-1 to Spear. Fouled off. It's 1-2. Here's the 1-2 pitch. Strike 3. Did he go?
They're going to call a balk.
They called a balk on Olson.
Yes. They're going to say he did not come to a complete stop.
And that's the second time in recent days that's happened to Greg.
Take a look, do a little umpiring. He's supposed to come to a complete stop. And they're saying the glove was still moving as he started his motion toward the plate.
So the balk call against Greg puts a runner at third now with nobody out. Count remains 1-2 on Tim Spear. Here's the 1-2 pitch. And he pops up into shallow right field. Lemke back. David Justice, a long run coming in, and it falls between them. A run scores. Spear winds up at second. 6-2 Montreal. The infield was playing in with the runner at third. Lemke couldn't get to it. Neither could Justice. It winds up being a bloop double.
You can see Justice coming flat out as far as he can. Sneaked a peek at Lemke, but that's just perfectly placed. That's just bad luck for the Braves.
So the stolen base and the balk caused all that. It pulled the infield in. If the infield is back, Lemke gets to that ball easily. So Montreal gets that run they gave up in the top of the inning right back. A runner at second as Spear gets credit for his second double of the year and 5th RBI. And now Marquise Grissom, 2 doubles, a single, and a strikeout. He has stolen 2 bases and scored 2 runs. 0-1 the count. Mark Wohler is up in the Atlanta bullpen. That'll be out of play. 0-2 on Grissom. Here's the 0-2 offering. Missing low and away. 1 ball, 2 strikes. You look at Marquise Grissom in the leadoff spot for Montreal. Roberto Kelly in the leadoff spot for Atlanta. 2 very similar players. They have a little power. They can drive in a run. They can steal a base. In fact, their home runs coming into tonight's game were even at 6. Their RBIs coming into tonight's game even at 29. And not that much difference in their batting average. Grissom now 297. Kelly started out the night 316. Little chopper toward third. Going to be a tough throw for Pacoda to make with Grissom's speed, and he beats it out. 4th hit of the night for Marquise Grissom. Spear holds at second.
This is just another tough luck. Pacoda's got no chance here. He does everything you can, unloads it, but look how far safe Grissom is. That's coming out of the right-handed batter's box. Not only does he have good speed, but he's going full tilt that first step at home plate.
Runners first and second now with nobody out. 1 run already in here in the bottom of the 8th to make it 6-2. Bill Pacoda telling Greg Olson what kind of bunt coverage the Braves will employ here with Lou Frazier at the plate. Frazier tonight 1 for 3, a single, an RBI, and he has also walked and stolen 2 bases. Taking low, ball 1. That's out of play in the count even on Frazier. 1 ball, 1 strike. The big blow in this game, a 3-run homer by Cliff Floyd in the bottom half of the 7th inning. That opened up the lead for the Expos. Now they've added to it. Here's the 1-1. Curveball in the inside corner. That was a better curveball, 1-2.
That had good bite on it, straight down. Watch this. This starts down and then breaks down. When he was having a little bit of trouble earlier, his curveball was starting uphill. A lot of times staying up there, but even when it broke, it gave the hitter a longer look at it.
Here's the 1-2 offering. Grounded up the middle. Shortstop Blauser has it. Flips to Lemke. In time one. On to first. Not in time there. As more of that Expos speed is demonstrated. Frazier beats out the ball at first.
You hit it right on the head because Lemke turns this as quick as it can be done. Gets out of the way. Gets a lot on the throw. Close, but Frazier got down there in a hurry.
First and third now, 1 out for Moises Alou. A single doubled and flied to left and popped the second. 2 for 4. Juan Bell has moved on deck. Out of play. 0-1 on Alou.
I'm trying to remember, thinking back to when Felipe Alou played. I knew he held the bat right down on the handle, but did he put the last 2 fingers over the knob like Moises does there? No one way to do it right, is there?
Here's the 0-1. Up high with that fastball. 1 ball and strike. Alou now at .352 for the year. The runners lead. Frazier off first. Spear off third. And the 1-1 pitch on the way. That curveball stayed high. 2-1. The 2-1 delivery. High again. Ball 3. 3-1 now to Alou. There goes Frazier. 3-1 pitch. Low and outside. Ball 4. That loads the bases. First walk issued by Olson. And that'll be all for Greg. Juan Bell being introduced as the pinch hitter for Mel Rojas. And Mark Wohlers will enter the game for Atlanta.
What do you think?
All this? For me? You shouldn't have.
Oh, but I did.
Fireworks already.
They started the minute you walked through the door.
There's magic in the air. I can feel it.
Joanna.
Yes, Alex?
Say it.
Wanna bond?
Oh, yes.
Oh, gotta get the remote control.
James Bond. 4 movies July 4th on TBS.
Some days should last all week. You got yourself a winning streak. Some days are like nothing else. You just gotta pinch yourself. It's not your average day, you must admit. Here's the beer that makes the perfect fit. Michelob. Some days. Michelob. Some days. Michelob. 'Cause some days others.
Not a good outing for Greg Olson. A little bit of bad luck in there, too. He worked a third of an inning, gave up 2 hits, 1 run, leaves the bases loaded, walked 2. I think I said 1 before. He had 2 walks, and he committed a balk. And now Mark Wohlers checking in for his 35th appearance. See the numbers on Mark. And it'll be Juan Bell pinch hitting for Mel Rojas here. Bell hitting .284, 1 homer, 7 RBIs, 2 out of 4 as a pinch hitter. He has traveled around to a few organizations in his young career.
Started with the Dodgers organization.
Then went to Baltimore, then to the Phillies, then to the Milwaukee Brewers. He's only 26 years old. Bases loaded, 1 out. Expos trying to move to within a game and a half of the Braves' lead in the East. Fastball missing high, ball 1. Little pop into shallow left. Plowser going back. Tarasco coming in. Tarasco for the catch. Not deep enough to score the runs. Everybody stays put. And there are 2 gone. And that'll bring up Will Cordero. 1 for 3 with a sac fly. His sac fly back in the 7th inning broke the 1-1 tie. Gave the Expos the lead, which they have not relinquished. Cliff Floyd follow with that 3-run homer, and they've added 1 more run here in the 8th. Upstairs, ball 1. Inside corner evens the count 1-1. Looking ahead to the 9th inning for Atlanta, it'll be David Justice, Javi Lopez, and Mark Lemke due up. And they'll be facing John Wetland. Breaking ball in for a strike, 1-2.
I think the first game of a series when you're at home, especially if it's a legitimate pennant race, is very important to the home team, because you get the home crowd into it. You get them talking about it. Now tomorrow they should be expecting, if the Expos can hang on here, they would be expecting probably a good-sized crowd that would come in here and be enthusiastic right away.
Here's the 1-2, fouled off into the seats. And teams are playing right now as if this were September.
Yep.
Not as if it were 75 games into the season, because of the looming strike. If it happens, you want to be in first place. So when the season resumes, if it does, whatever arrangements are made, whether it's a split season or otherwise, at least you're going to have that one share of first place.
Ed Rappuano getting a little help from the Braves dugout on that call. Take a look at the pitch. Javi Lopez sets up outside. The pitch is outside. I think the question they want to ask is, did he go around? And thus far, we didn't see Frank Pulley get asked down at first.
2-2 to Cordero. Full count, 3-2. There's no room for him. Bases loaded. Runners going on the 3-2 pitch. Ball 4. Another run is in. It's 7-2. Give Cordero his second RBI of the night and 35th of the year. And here's Cliff Floyd. A walk, a pop out to short, a strikeout, and a 3-run homer. Bouncing ball out toward second. Lemke, long throw to first, just in time to get Floyd. And the inning finally ends, but Montreal scores 2 more. And we go to the 9th inning. The Braves trail by 5.
All this for me? You shouldn't have.
But I did.
Want a bond?
Yes.
Well, go get the remote control.
James Bond. 4 movies July 4th on TBS.
They speak it in England, France, and Germany. It sounds the same in the U.S. and Mexico as it does in Hong Kong and Tokyo. It's the international language of business. And wherever it's spoken, Delta Airlines can put you right in the middle of the conversation. And then we'll bring you back to that place where you don't have to say a word to be understood. Delta Airlines.
Metaphorically speaking, it is said to be a monument to the duality of man.
Unlike some vacation spots, Atlanta has fun things to see, like Sidetrack and Zoo Atlanta. For discounts, call 1-800-ATLANTA.
Impressive, don't you think?
Having a great time. Wish you would know. The weather is beautiful. No.
In Atlanta, there are things to do that are worth writing home about. And bring your Visa card. For discounts, call 1-800-ATLANTA.
Having a lousy time. Wish we'd gone to Atlanta.
This 4th of July, the Cartoon Network invites you to an all-day picnic with Yogi Bear.
Are you nuts?
We're the Cartoon Network, and if you're not getting us yet, call your cable operator. Don't miss this picnic with Yogi. Next Monday, beginning at noon, only on the Cartoon Network.
Well, if you don't think the Montreal Expos want this one, they have a 5-run lead in the 9th inning, and they're bringing their closer in, John Wetland, who normally comes into games when they're much closer, making his 31st appearance, 2-5 with 13 saves, and averaging better than a strikeout per inning. 40 strikeouts in 38 in the 3rd innings. The league hitting just .219 against him. Braves, unless they put together a huge rally here in the 9th, they're going to lose their 3rd game in a row, and they haven't had a losing streak this long since all the way back in late April, early May, when they lost 4 in a row, April 29th through May 3rd. 3 to the Pirates, 1 to the Florida Marlins. David Justice leading off here in the 9th. 0 for 2 with a walk. A little bit low, ball 1. Rojas worked 2/3 of an inning, gave up a hit, no runs, no walks, 1 strikeout. Two and out the count. A little flutter of nervousness goes around Olympic Stadium. As we mentioned, their bullpen has performed well most of the time, but they have blown some leads. Although this one is a big one, a 5-run lead. Foul back 2-1.
Wetland, one of those guys that went to spring training as a youngster with the Dodgers. And normally if you're a youngster going to spring training, especially a pitcher the first time, you're going to get a big number. And he decided to hang on to it.
Here's the 2-1. Popped up. And not quite enough room. Very little foul territory in Olympic Stadium since they've redesigned it. Moving seats closer to the action.
Yeah, name me a park that's not an out in. So for hitters, it's going to give you extra at bats, and a lot of them if you play 81 games here.
2-2 now on Justice. It's a full count now, 3-2.